There will be no sorry. It's when you go harder than somebody, man. This right here, is dominations. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. To rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate. I'm stronger, go harder. I'm a monster, I conquer, dominate anything I want to. My passion, my skill, my focus, my hunger. Just to put it simple, I'm the yes, I just want it more than the next guy. And no, you can't do the thing that I'm going. I'm real impressive, little rough around the edges. A man on a mission, smashing the competition. Ooh, my next victim, get him McDonald. Let me know if anybody else got a problem. Cause they don't even stand a chance. Got the eye of the tiger and a heart of a champ. Just want it more, yeah, man, I need to win. Pedal to the floor, we gon' push it to the limit. Yeah, man, they wishing, but they keep up with me though. No, even when it gets so quiet, I'm still on beast mode. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So I see the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Blessed with the boy, you will quickly be destroyed. So just stay out my way, get something you should avoid. I think it's time to show the world what I got. Yeah, I think it's time I turned it up a notch. Man, I figured it out. Why they mad at that? Cause I'm in my zone. Oh yeah, I got my swag down. I pulled up hurting on anyone who tests me. Close my eyes, take a deep breath. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm the boss, I'm the leader, I'm the man in control. See, I make my own rules. Baby, I don't lose. Trust me, ride with me and get up. Now bring it down low. Let me talk to you quietly. If I want you, I'ma get you. There's no way for you to hide from it. Towering, overpowering anybody. To put it simple, homie, there's no way that you can stop me. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. To rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate. How I operate, I dominate. Knock them down like dominoes. Let's conversate, concentrate. I'ma tell you all I know. Go hard every day, that's the way you gotta go. But when they ask me if I'm gonna stop, I say hell no. Never stop, never quit, I'm only getting better. I was good before, but I'm better than I ever been. Yeah, let's see, you dealing with a war. I hear the fire in me burning like the sun down the floor. Tell me if you want it, I'ma show you what's in store. Yeah, and let me know if you want more, cause I got more for you. Look, so rugged and raw, I live for this. I'm screaming out, give me some more. Yeah, time we go all out until it's finished. I don't know why again, we all know I'm gonna win it. Ain't no time to act timid, I'm the best that ever did it. Yeah, I think they know what this is. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Yes. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Did it? Work hard. There will be no sorry. It's when you go harder than somebody, man. This right here, is dominations. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. Drop to the occasion, do something amazing. If anything that I do, I dominate. I'm stronger, go harder. I'm a monster, I conquer, dominate anything I want to. My passion, my skill, my focus, my hunger. Just to put it simple, I'm the yes, I just want it more than the next guy. And no, you can't do the thing that I'm going. I'm real aggressive, little rough around the edges. A man on a mission, smashing the competition. Ooh, my next victim, get him, I got him. Let me know if anybody else got a problem. Cause they don't even stand a chance. Got the eye of the tiger and a heart of a champ. Just want it more, yeah, man, I need to win. Pedal to the floor, we gon' push it to the limit. Yeah, man, they wishing, but they come up with me though. No, even when it gets so quiet, I'm still on beast mode. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So I see occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. Then drop to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Messing with the boy, you will quickly be destroyed. So just stay out my way, get something you should avoid. I think it's time to show the world what I got. Yeah, I think it's time I turned it up a notch. Man, I figured it out. Nobody mad at that, cause I'm in my zone. Oh yeah, I got my swag down. I pulled up hurting on anyone who tests me. Close my eyes, take a deep breath. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm the boss, I'm the leader, I'm the man in control. See, I make my own rules. Baby, I don't lose. Trust me, move out with me and get up now. Bring it down low, let me talk to you quietly. If I want you, I'ma get you. There's no way for you to hide from it. Towering, overpowering anybody. To put it simple, homie, there's no way that you can stop me. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So drop to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. Drop to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate. How I operate, I dominate. Knock them down like dominoes. Let's conversate, concentrate. I'ma tell you all I know. Go hard every day, that's the way you gotta go. When they ask me if I'm gonna stop, I say hell no. Never stop, never quit, I'm only getting better. I was good before, but I'm better than I ever been. Yeah, let's see, you dealing with a war. The fire in me burning like the sun down the floor. Tell me if you want it, I'ma show you what's in store. Yeah, and let me know if you want more, cause I got more for you. Stood so rugged and raw, I live through this. I'm screaming out, give me some more. Yeah, time we go all out until it's finished. I don't know why again, we all know I'm going to win it. Ain't no time to act timid, I'm the best that ever did it. Yeah, I think they know what this is. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Yes. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Get it? Work hard.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Hustler and Muscular, once again in the building, giving y'all the facts that are never whack, and you know damn right I'm always on track. Yeah, coming back at y'all live once again with another interesting topic and something that gets talked about from time to time. It's something that I just need to get off my chest. After all, that's why I do these streams, to talk about things that I've noticed over the years and things that I just want to get the word out to people who probably just don't know. But before I get into today's juicy topic, here's the information to my Cash App. Feel free to, if you're feeling generous, which I hope you are, feel free to donate. Dollar amount doesn't matter because I'm not in this for the money per se, but hey, anybody that wants to donate, Cash App information is right there. And feel free to drop as much dough as you can. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Or better yet, maybe this guy can explain it more, can tell you in a better way.
Like, comment, and subscribe because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
And here's my Instagram information. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into today's topic. Today, I want to talk about, are men responsible for the decline of marriages? Because as we all know in this society, less and less men are getting married. Men would rather do other things. Hell, in this day and age, men would rather do other things than get into a relationship with a woman. So society is changing. It's to the point where men and women don't interact with each other the way they did 25, 30 years ago. Yeah. And according to statistics, less and less men are getting married in this day and age. Don't believe me? Well, then take a look at this and you'll see the decline in marriages. Okay, for those of y'all watching, take a look at this chart. Now, the dark green represents okay, let's start from left to right. The yellow, the piss yellow represents never married. The light gray is for widowed. The light green is for divorced or separated, and the dark green is for married. Let's talk about the married. According to this chart, this says back in the 1960s, 72% of people were married. This is the United States population, by the way. Yes, 72% were married back in the 1960s. 72%. And as we scroll on down from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, 90s, you can see by 2010s it's 51%. So the marriage rates have definitely dropped. So yeah, that's the number of people that were getting married back in the day. Not only that, and if you look at the section that says never married, that was only 15%. Now to the 2010s, 28% never been married. So nowadays we have more never been married people on this earth than we did people that have actually been married. Ain't that about some shit? So yeah, this tells you marriages have totally dropped. How did we go from 72% back then to like 51% going to the 2010s? As the 21st century approaches, now it's 51%. And back in the 1960s, you had a small number that was either divorced or separated. But by 2010, that number also went up. Wow, ain't that about something? So yeah, the marriage rates have totally dropped over the last few decades, according to this chart right here. And anybody in the back listening, feel free to come up, support your boy, and enjoy my little lecture. Because yeah. Now the question is, and anybody can answer this in the chat. Do you think men are responsible let me say it like this. Put a 1 in the chat if you think men are responsible for marriages declining. Put a 2 in the chat if you think women are responsible. And put a 3 if you think both parties are responsible for marriages declining. Okay, while y'all get that together, while y'all think about that, let's talk about this. Are men truly responsible? Okay, again, if you think men are responsible for marriages declining, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it's women, put a 2 in the chat. If you think both are responsible, put a 3 in the chat. Okay, now let's talk about this. So are men responsible? In a sense, you could say yes, Why? Because as men, we control access to marriages and relationships. So we are part of the reason why they're not happening. So we are responsible for their decline. But here's the thing about it. There are not as many eligible women out there for us to marry. So I guess in a say you can't say we're responsible for marriages falling apart, but at the same time, the fact that women choose not to be traditional, choose not to be marriage minded, rather be 304s for the streets. That's the major contributing factor right there. So yes, there are no women for us to marry. I know some knucklehead probably gonna think to themselves, well, that's because there are no eligible men out there. I have reason to believe there are more eligible men out there that do want to get married and start a family. The problem is they can't find no eligible women. Because yes, as men, we do want to get married and start a family. But hell, I've learned over the years what you want and what you can get are not the same thing. Also, what you want and what you deserve are not the same thing. Some of us don't even deserve to be in a marriage, depending on what stage in our lives we're in. We're either too young, we're either too young, too irresponsible, or too selfish. Either way, all of us on this planet is just not eligible for a marriage. Best that you come to terms with that while you're still young, and don't be trying to hop into a marriage right off rip just because you don't want to be single and by yourself. So to a degree, yes, we are responsible for their declining. But here's the thing. I have reason to believe that women are the reasons why marriages fall apart. Why do I say that? Because women initiate 70 to 75% of the divorces. So they're the ones marrying men and they're the ones divorcing them for whatever reason. Seriously, I've seen more divorce parties than I have actual baby showers. You'd be hard pressed these days to find any married couple that's been together for at least half of a decade. I know there are some married women out there, and for those of y'all that are married, y'all can probably attest to what I'm talking about here. Yeah. Men are the reasons why marriages are declining or not happening as much as they used to be, but women are the major contributing factor because they're not making themselves eligible to be wives. That's the thing. So all this stuff about, well, men don't want to man up and marry women anymore. Men just don't want to own up and be responsible. No, they're just not going to marry your happy ass specifically. He wants to get married, but maybe not to you. Or maybe he just said, you know what, marriage is just not worth the risk anymore. Marriage is just not, I'm not going to damage my livelihood just so I can spend the rest of my life with a woman that's just going to lose interest in me, or it's just with me because I can build, provide, and protect her, knowing damn well she doesn't find me attractive and it's just using me for my resources. Because yes, some women do that. They get with the good guy because he's dependable, he's reliable, and he's caring towards her. Even though she doesn't find him attractive, she'll deal with him just because he's got the goods. While on the other hand, she'd rather let the Pookie and Ray Ray dudes, the men she actually do find attractive, give her that pipe late at night and he's out of sight. Yeah. That's what they're doing out here. You have some women out here that will gladly jeopardize their marriages without a fucking care in the world. So that's why marriages are declining. Maybe they're declining because of us men, but they're falling apart because of women. So when you stop and think about it, in my opinion, I think men and women are responsible for marriages declining. But hey, this is an open panel discussion. So anybody want to come up and debate this, feel free to do so. Give me a second. Like I said, I have reasons to believe men and women are responsible for marriages falling apart. Now, anybody want to come on the panel and debate this with me? Feel free to do so. We will gladly have this discussion. We will gladly talk about why marriages are declining. Are men truly responsible, or is it the women not making themselves eligible for marriage? Because let's face it, a man can approach a woman with the intent on trying to get married to her, but if she herself is not marriage minded, that's a problem. And I'm pretty sure y'all heard women say things like, well, put a ring on my finger and I'll be a good wife. Well, do this for me and I'll be a good, and I'll be in my femininity. You see, women like to put conditions on whether or not they're going to be feminine, whether or not they're going to be good wives. They put conditions on it. A man got to do this, a man got to do that. When they know fucking well, it doesn't work that way. As a woman, you have to come to the table already in your femininity, already setting your marriage-minded ways if you want a man to marry you. An old scripture from the Bible once said, and it still does, you're not my wife because I found you. You're my wife before I found you. In other words, you were already a wife before I even met you. So you have to already kind of have those wifey qualities in you before you come into the man's life. You can't come into a man's life expecting him to just treat you like a wife, even though you've done absolutely nothing to show you're worthy of being a wife. Y'all want to be in a position of wives so badly, but y'all want to do the work it takes to actually be a wife, as I mentioned in a previous stream. And some of y'all ladies want the benefits of a marriage, but the freedom to be single. So yeah, marriages are declining because of us men, but they're falling apart because of women. Hell, sexual liberation as a whole killed the overall dynamic of what marriage is supposed to represent. By telling women they can have sex without the possibility of getting pregnant thanks to contraceptives and birth control, now women are just less concerned about getting married and just want to have sex with the first guy they find attractive. Take that D from any man that they find attractive. Thus giving rise to 304 culture. Now, 304 culture been around for some decades, but I think in the 2020s and 2010s, it's just gotten worse and worse. Yes, people are still getting married, but the amount of trash to dig through is just mind-boggling. You may have to dig through a whole lot of trash just to even find a treasure. Now, granted, some people who are not marriage-minded are not necessarily bad people per se. They're just going to be bad mates for you in the long run. I know women personally that are good women, but I would never want to marry these women for obvious reasons because they're not married. They're not only are they not my type, but they're nobody's type. So before y'all start thinking, well, you're talking to females who are just not your type. No, these broads are nobody's type, honestly. They're the kind of women no man should ever want to take seriously. None, zero, nada. It ain't so much you ain't my type, you're nobody's type, honestly. So if women want to go through life not being anybody's type or not even having a type, they're not putting themselves in good positions to be considered wives in the first place. That's where the problem tends to arise from. So yeah, it's up for question. Anybody that wants to come up, answer this question. Are men truly responsible for marriages declining? Are women responsible for marriages declining? Or do y'all think that it's both parties? Because me personally, like I said, I believe both men and women are responsible because, again, we control access to marriages and relationships, but at the same time, we don't have anyone to grant said access to. I mean, we got women to choose from just for the simple fact that these women exist. But we don't have a lot to choose from as far as quality, because we have the common sense to know that if we wife up certain women, they're going to do us dirty. They're not going to want to cooperate. They're not going to do what they're supposed to do as a wife. And then y'all want to blame the men for marrying these said unworthy women. And don't get me wrong. Yes, I do blame men when they marry the wrong kind of women, because yeah, you control access to that. The same way I blame women who let irresponsible men impregnate them. Because hell, you allowed that man to slide into you raw, so it's your fault, but at the same time, it's his damn fault because he should have known better. So yeah, we are both responsible for this stuff in some shape, form, or fashion. Anybody want to debate this with me? Who's more responsible, men or women, for the decline of marriages and relationships? Because you see a lot of these women who want to be married, but at the same time, they want the benefits of being single, like I said earlier. So we don't have a lot to choose from. I want to get married someday, but why the heck am I surrounded by women who are not only not my type as far as relationships are concerned, but we may have some sort of friendliness or compassion for each other, maybe even a sexual attraction. But these broads are really nobody's type. They're the kind of women no man in his right man should ever want to take seriously. So honestly, so it ain't that some of us men don't want to get married. We just don't have a lot of women to choose from. I mean, y'all want to blame us men when women start cheating and shit. So hell, you can't blame us for just not wanting to get married, period. Bottom line. And that's just the way that goes. But anyways, if anybody don't want to come up and talk about this with me, the link is in the description right there. Anybody want to debate this with me? The topic is, are men responsible for marriages declining? Or do y'all think it's the women responsible? Or maybe we're both responsible. Like I said, we're both responsible in some regard. Because it don't make a lot of sense to put a bunch of marriage-minded men in a culture full of unmarriage-minded women. Now, granted, there are some women out here who want to get married and want to start families. And y'all might be thinking, well, why don't y'all just choose those types of women? Why stop messing with the 304s? Well, in a perfect world, I would tell men, leave them hoes and sluts alone. They're not worth anything outside of a fling. But that's the thing. That's all they're worth to them is a fling. But what if you're a man and you're not looking for a relationship or a marriage? Then whatever the fling, the friends, the benefits, it is what it is. As long as you get your pee-pee satisfied and being safe with it, it's all good, right? As long as you get yourself into some trouble, right? But from what I'm seeing, men are choosing traditional men and women, because I know some women personally have been married to their husbands for some years. And even they will tell you that the marriage market today is just crap. Marriages today is just a major crap shoot. They will even tell you that. All right. Now, before I get into my first video, let's take a look at this picture I found. Okay, this picture I found from Facebook. And this one says, how a lot of men will end up if they don't change their mentality soon. Okay, first of all, there's no context to this picture because I see a man, old man, eating pasta, watching TV with a blanket over his shoulder, with a dog by his side. I don't know. Is there more to this picture than we're looking at? Who knows? Maybe he has a girlfriend. Maybe he does have somebody. We don't know that for sure. But the thing that blows me about this thing, it says how a lot of men will end up if they don't change their mentality soon. So once again, putting all the blame on men. They expect men to just man up, go out there, find a wife, get married, and start a family. Don't have this man set up. I'm gonna focus on myself and stay to myself. This is how you're gonna be. Well, a lot of us men, a lot of us, not most of us, not all of us, have no problem being alone. For one thing, if anything, it's these ladies have a problem being by themselves. I think loneliness affects both men and women, but I think the ladies may suffer the most from it. Don't believe me? Look at all the videos on social media, females talking about, oh, they can't find a good man. They're so lonely, drinking wine by themselves. No man to take them out. They keep getting ghosted. Yeah, you don't see men doing that now, do you? You don't think this old man be doing that stuff, do you? He's just sitting up there eating pasta in front of a TV. And if he's happy with that, he's at peace. It is what it is. He ain't got no nagging wife or girlfriend to bother him. But the problem I have is putting all the blame on the man. What do women have to do? What do the women have to do first? We can go on and on about what men need to do, but we don't talk about what the ladies need to do. Men are going to end up like this just for the simple fact that there are no women for us to choose from. Maybe this old man couldn't find an eligible wife, or maybe in this culture it's just too risky to be dating. And who knows? Maybe he was married. Maybe he was married. His wife passed away. Something. She living by himself. Yeah, that happens too. So we don't know the context of this situation. Whoever made this post didn't get enough context for this situation, because for all you know, number one, this man probably already has a wife or a girlfriend, but she's not in the room with him. Second of all, maybe he was married, but now he's widowed because his wife passed away. We don't know that for sure. But they'll use something like this as an indication of what men gonna be like if they don't man up and change the way they are, change their mindsets towards marriages and relationships. So no, this is not the best example to you. There's not enough context with this kind of picture. Again, blame the men for every goddamn thing. Everything is on men. Men have to do this. Men have to do that. Men must own up and bone up. But yeah, we don't talk about what the women need to do first and foremost. That's the way it needs to be. You know what? This picture would look better if it said, if it was a man, that same guy sitting right there by himself, but next to him, in a separate frame or whatever, a woman lying in bed sipping on wine with nobody to talk to. And the tagline, the caption should say, how a lot of people will end up if we don't change our mentality soon. That would make a little bit more sense, because loneliness affects both men and women. So you can't put all the blame on men if they want to end up like this. If he's happy like this, I say kudos to you. But again, I don't know this man's situation. For all we know, he probably had a wife, but she passed away, and now he's all by himself. That's not to say he's been single for most of his life, doing whatever the fuck he been wanting to do. We don't know the context of that situation. Oh, what's up, cynical, unpredictable, always at your pentacle? Yeah, glad you could make it. My top tier supporter. So cynical. Today's topic is, are men responsible for marriages declining? Now, do you think men are responsible? If so, put a 1. Do you think women are responsible? Put a 2. Do you think both are responsible? Put a 3. Your call. I won't judge anybody, but we're going to have this discussion. Are men truly responsible for marriages falling apart? Okay, cynical said 3. So you agree that both men and women are responsible for marriages falling apart? Yeah, makes sense to me. As I explained earlier, yes, we control access to marriages and relationships, but we still need women to grant said access to. Without eligible women to grant access to, it's a lost cause. I mean, and by the way, cynical, you're back there listening. What you think of this picture right here? The caption says how a lot of men will end up, if they don't change their mind, change their mentality soon. So yeah, if you don't change your mindset, you're gonna end up like this old man. No context on what he's been through, no context of what he's going through, whatever. None of that. Just an old man sitting there eating food by himself. Ain't that about some shit? No context. So once again, putting all the blame on men, not telling women what they need to do.
You tripping.
But with that said, I digress. What's up, Mella?
You tripping.
You
tripping.
I want to be your number one fella. How you doing?
You're tripping.
How am I tripping?
Because
Explain.
Well, first of all, the cynicism of your content is starting to bug me, right? Not that you owe me any pleasure, okay? What I'm saying is that at some point, you have to look forward to having a porterhouse steak with the one you love. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. It's just as simple as that. It's really
love
just
the one
that
that
simple.
you're with. I've
If
heard
you
that.
if you can't
I've
be
heard
with the
that
one you
before,
love, love the one you're with, man. Like, you make it seem like hope is gone for people to relate to one another in a pleasant way, and emphasis on pleasant. Like, there is a such thing as exchanging pleasantries between people. And you make it seem like men are automatically supposed to have a radar and women are automatically supposed to have a radar, when nobody out here in real life is suspecting people of sinister intentions. like nobody, for real. Like when people
Mhm.
authentically fall in love, they authentically fall in love. It's just that sometimes they do it too fast without knowing the person, in different scenarios of all four seasons in life, right? Like you have
Right.
to know each other during certain situations and circumstances that will affect your relationship. Like, does she or he get along with your family? Does he or she, are they cool with a road trip? Like, you might be in love with road trips. Like you have to take the time that it takes to establish whether or not your your similar enjoyments can outlast the differences. Like a lot of people don't take the time. They just see somebody fine. It's like, I gotta have you. And next thing you know, they caught up in something that they regret and they continue to blast on YouTube for the rest of their life. It's
I
it,
could have
it, it,
told you
it
that. Yep, that happens,
so
believe it or
so
not.
so I'm asking you sincerely because we've had a couple of conversations. Please tell me if I'm stepping on your toes. What the hell is wrong with you?
What you mean, what the hell is wrong with me?
Why
I
are
don't get
you
it.
advocating the negative connotations towards pair bonding that you do?
Who said anything about advocating towards negative, whatever you said about pair bonding?
You said your
I
title
did
says
not say
marriage is
that.
dead. Your title literally,
Is it dead? No. Is it on death's doors or life support? Yep, absolutely. But the
because you're bringing
question
up
is,
statistics, right?
do you think as men we're the reasons why marriages are declining, or you think women
It's
are, or you think we're
nobody's
both
fault.
responsible?
You
Who?
know whose fault it is? It is
Who?
constructed media programming. That is the fault. As a matter of fact, I was talking to someone that I care about very much today. I said, there was a time in recent history that I bought a grandfather clock, right? And I look back on it, I said, why the hell? What was I thinking? Why did I do that? And I was able to pinpoint the mindset as to why I thought that was important at the time. It was watching the Bill Cosby show. Them MFers in that show had a grandfather clock, right?
I
They had
remember. Yep.
copper, they had fine paintings on the wall. They had they had a copper, they had copper decorative, they had decorative copper pans and pots on the wall, for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, and then you take other television shows, they had fine china, right? You take another television show, they had you know, some type of just all types of stuff. What I'm saying is that we have been programmed through media influence without realizing that we were influenced, you know? And for you to come up with this, whose fault is it? I'll tell you whose fault it is. It's media programming's fault. That's whose fault it is.
So you think
Because
media?
back in the
So
day,
you, so you think
hold on, bro. Back in the day
okay?
when baby boomers, right, were encouraged to have as many children as you can, you'll be all right. That was media programming too. Do you realize they came out of the Great Depression, won World War II, allegedly, and for some strange reason, everybody was supposed to believe that having umpteen numbers of children, 1,100 children, was supposed to be cool. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
didn't tell women that, oh, by the way, your uterus is gonna be, affected if you squeezing out 5 kids or more. They didn't tell them that. All they said was produce. Everything's gonna be all right. Happy days are here again. You know what I'm saying? They produced television shows that initiated how the sanctity of marriage makes everything all right. And you will be
And it
fine
did.
with your umpteen have 1,100 children. But what they didn't anticipate is the nature of people getting fed up with one another. It has nothing to do with a man or a woman. It's the nature of people to want variety. And when I say variety, I'm not talking about additional sexual partners. I'm talking about not being stimulated in a way that's suitable for them to continue a commitment. And that's where marriages fail. Marriages fail because people don't understand how something that stimulates your partner, you deprive them of. When you deprive your partner
Right.
of what stimulates them, the marriage is going to fall apart eventually. Now,
Like
take my
water powers
husband, for
the
instance,
sex.
right?
Yeah.
He and I get along, but we don't get along. It's kind of a tricky
Huh?
bag. We get along, but we don't get along
It's a
because
love-hate relationship, right?
no, we don't. I didn't say hate. See, that's you projecting, right?
That's what it sounds
You
like to
want
me.
to hate. No, no, you want to hate. We don't hate each other, but for
I,
whatever
I
reason, that
hope
was the
y'all
first
don't.
word that came out your mouth, right? What I will tell you is that there is something called family, right? Family. And once
Yep.
you agree in your heart, soul, and spirit that I don't want any harm to come to this person, and if I can be there to make sure that happen, or if I am within reach to make sure that doesn't happen, that is good enough. Now, all this, you know, I gotta sleep in the same bed with you, even though I snore, even though, and all of a sudden it's like, no, that ain't even gotta happen. What has to happen is that you all are cool with each other. Now, all that other personal stuff that annoys the other person, it's like, look, I love you, but I can't deal with this craziness. So I'm gonna love you from a distance. That happens. And that's what being separated is all about. It's like, look, I love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance because I'm not. I'm afraid of how you wake up in the middle of the night. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid.
Afraid of what?
No, no.
What you
I'm
mean?
look. I'm not gonna dox myself. What I'm telling you is that there are married couples that actually love each other that can't actually cohabitate. It is a thing. There is a such thing. They can't cohabitate, but they love each other as family. That's the thing. So for you to say marriage is dead is kind of skewed.
Uh, Mela, look at the title. It says declining. I didn't say completely dead. Declining, as in going downhill.
Yeah,
It's
explain
on death's
yourself.
doors, not south. Not it's on death's doors or life support. I didn't say it was completely dead.
Anyway, my point
I know.
is
I
that
know
a
female
brother such
person who's
as
been married for
yourself,
10 years. So I know it ain't dead. Come on, you're
a
putting words in my mouth now.
a brother such well, you do the same thing all the time. A brother such as
No, I
yourself,
don't.
in my humble opinion, I think you should look forward to
Yep.
pair with somebody that on certain occasions you can have your ideal meal with, and just laugh and look forward to the future, and all this like you know like happiness as we know it is on the chopping block shit is getting kind of old. Can you please talk about something optimistic for a change?
I have no problem doing that. And didn't I just say I have friends from high school been married for almost 10 years, so I know marriages are happening, but they're not happening at the higher rate that they once were happening back in the day. You talk about during the Great Depression, the narrative was have kids by somebody's. Well, at least they were doing it at least they were starting families back then. It's kind of strange during the Great
The
Depression era.
negativity, the
The unity was
negativity,
there back then. There was more unity back then
the
during
negative.
those hard
Okay,
times.
okay, okay. The
You know what I'm
negativity
saying?
that is being promoted on Black YouTube is poisoning people. I wish you all would stop it. I really do. You all
Who
are
said anything
poisoning
about
people.
poisoning? I'm
You
educating, not
all your
poisoning.
not you specifically, but the
Okay.
the the actual congregation of so-called Black YouTube that a lot of us are familiar with seeing each other in different spaces. This shit is poisoning each other, and we're throwing fuel on the fire with this continued negativity. Okay, this shit is getting out of hand because we got people that are actually psychotic and we don't need to encourage them in their psychosis. Okay. So all this negativity, please balance it with something optimistic from time to time. And do me that solid once in a while. I don't owe you nothing. You don't owe me nothing, but I'm just saying out loud. I'm just saying it out loud. And, happy
I
Valentine's Day. I
understand.
gotta go. Because
Well,
all y'all tripping. Every time I turn around,
Mela, are you feeling okay today? You seem a
no,
bit
I'm
heated.
not. No, I'm not. Because I asked my family to listen to, I said, yeah, I'm on YouTube every once in a while. Listen to this. And everything that came on was about somebody planning to do something to somebody else. It wasn't enrichment. Like she was like, why are you listening to this poisonous shit?
What kind of content was it exactly? Well, if you don't mind me
All of it.
asking.
All
Huh?
of it.
Okay, be more specific, because you got the good, you got your bad. You got to take the good with the bad sometime, So be more
Where's the
specific,
good?
please.
Here's a question for you. Where's the
Yeah.
good?
What do you mean, where's the good?
In this Black YouTube content that we are familiar with one another's avatar names, where's the good? When's the last time you heard something uplifting on these YouTube spaces that we frequent? When was the last time?
I hear a lot of it.
Get specific.
Well, it's so much. Damn, it's
My
it's so
family is
much.
telling me to get the hell off YouTube, and I don't want to do that. And
hey, do what you want to do. Don't let them tell you what to do.
And it's not about them telling me what to do. They're pointing out they're pointing out a percentage. They said, can you tell me when was the last time you heard these Black YouTube channels that you frequent edify you in any optimistic way? And I was like, no, they pretty much cutthroat. It's like, okay, so here you are listening to people who are cutthroat. What is that about? You didn't come from a cutthroat family. Why are you listening to cutthroat people? And I said, well, in the military, I had to reconcile some things that I did, and it's not easy being a veteran. It's like, okay, that was a war you was in a long time ago.
Yeah.
What is this about now? Why are you attracted to negativity? So
I'm not. But let me say this real quick before you continue. Let me say shout out to Dating, Marriages, and Support. And they said their channel brings positivity. This is James and Lady Di. They're a married couple. They can tell you more about this than I guess single folks could. So if y'all want to come up, feel free to do so.
I'm gonna subscribe to them right now. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Hey guys, you got another subscriber. Thanks in part to me. But anyway, y'all want to come up here and talk about this, feel free to do so. Today's topic, are men responsible for marriages declining? Yes, no, maybe. Mela says it's the media that's killing off marriages, and I agree to some extent.
I need a wrench so I could go to their channel more efficiently. Otherwise, I have to type it in. You want to give me a wrench, or you want me to work?
How do I give people wrenches? Wait, hold on. Your name's not even up here in the chat.
That's true.
I mean, Cynical mentioned you, but that's not enough. But yeah, as far as the media influencing this, yes, I do. I mean, when you have social media that's telling, oh, there you are. Okay. If I make you a model, be doing no crazy stuff, okay? Okay, how do I make you a mod?
If I do, just take it back. I just want to subscribe to that channel so that I can expose my family to, positive spaces about relationships.
I mean, Di and James are a married couple, and even they speak on, the negativity going on in the world. They take the good with the bad. They're kind of like me, for example. They talk about the good, and Lady Di is married to James, and even these two will tell you how messed up our dating market is. We talk about this. I chopped it up with them, I don't know if it was last night before, but yeah, they will tell you how messed up our dating market is. So it ain't just us single people talking about this. Yeah, even married men and married women are seeing this. And these people still encourage people to get married and start a family, but they understand why it's not happening. They're not going to force somebody to do something they don't want to do because that ain't their style. It's not even my style. But
Okay,
they
found them.
understand why they don't want to do it.
Okay, found them. I've subscribed.
Okay. Talking about I'm too negative and brash. Well, maybe
well,
they're better.
I'm just saying that it's a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a
I
pattern.
mean, when you got married couples speaking on this stuff, you know damn well I'm not making this up. You can't say that. Yeah, and they said thanks. He, she, they said thanks.
Oh, of course. And I'm referring to you, H&M, specifically. I can't speak for anybody else's channel. I'm here with you. And I just wanted to say my piece.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you. See how pleasant that is?
Yes, I see how
Is it
pleasant it is.
boring to be pleasant?
No, it's actually more exciting. Again, gotta take the good with the bad.
Some psychotics think it's boring to be pleasant. And that's
Well, I'm
why
not
they stir the
psychotic.
pot. Not you. I'm talking about some of these spaces. Like, it's almost as if they're looking for targets. You understand what I mean by that?
Yep.
Yeah. And it becomes a pattern over a period of, it's like, wait a minute. That's a target seeker. That's a target seeker. Like, they literally just look to stir chaos because it's fun to them. And that is a psychopath. And I know a lot about psychopaths, okay? I truly do.
I guess you dealt with them in the military. Thankfully, I'd have to deal with them.
A lot of people have dealt with them outside of the military. They walk among us. It's unfortunately they get to frolic and run free when expressing themselves in certain media spaces, namely these particular YouTube spaces. And I've noticed that over a decade. I'm not making this up. Over a decade, I've noticed people gravitate toward the negative and the outrageous and the, concentrating on humiliating somebody. Like, it's fun for them. Like, they'll say it's fun.
We don't do that. I don't do that. And I've learned that sometimes if you want to survive in this world, you need to learn to embrace the negativity and accept it as a part of life. I embraced it a long time ago. So that's why it doesn't bother me as much. I accept the fact that there are some evil people out there, and it left me mentally able to kind of deal with it.
Yeah,
they'll be like a suburb. They'll be like a suburban kid going to the ghetto. He wasn't raised in the streets, so what the hell is he gonna know how to do? He don't know how to survive in the street because he wasn't raised in the street. But take a street kid, put him in the same ghetto. He embraced the hatred. He embraced the animosity. He embraced the craziness. So he's better equipped to deal with it mentally, kind of like that.
Yeah, navigating. I'm sorry. I'm rubbing my head while I'm talking to you because
navigating.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like my emotions are getting a cavity, so I guess I said navigating, but that might be a new word people can use. I don't know. But what I'm saying is to be able to navigate around, like, you can't navigate around something you're not, of course you're not familiar with traveling. I guess that's the best way I can say it. So you made a good point about somebody from the suburbs who's not ever been exposed to more harmful settings, and then they put themselves in that environment for whatever reason. Maybe they're looking for weed. I don't know. Maybe they got a girlfriend over there or boyfriend over there, and they just go over there. But it's a different environment that they've never encountered before. It will take some time to acclimate yourself to it. It will. And that takes being able to, as you say, embrace it for yourself. And that's a very, very tough pill to swallow. Like when you actually know, in order for me to navigate around this harmful environment, I have to become a harmful person myself.
I
That's
wouldn't go
crazy.
that
That's
far.
tripped out. No, it's
I'm
tripped
not
out.
gonna say. I'm not gonna say
To
become a
sit
horrible
at
person like yourself. I'm just saying
the
they say to
table.
fight evil, think. They say to beat the enemy, to think like the enemy. So hell, think like your enemies. Don't become the enemy. Think like the enemy. Kind of like
I,
that.
I'm not saying become it. I'm just saying that I'm agreeing with you. You to know what it takes to think like them, though, right? There is a level of imagination that you haven't practiced before, and it can be disturbing, you know, to think it without, like the level of imagination that it takes to think like a killer but have never killed is very intense. Is very intense. And so it comes with a lot of pretending, like convincing yourself that's who you are when you've never done it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying that I can relate to your comment about um you got to think like the enemy to beat the enemy. I can relate to that comment.
Good to
But I
know.
have
Good
a
to know.
dinner to consume, and I
God
just wanted to
damn.
make sure that I acknowledge your live stream as always. I hope you don't
Yeah.
mind. I'm gonna log off.
You sure you're not upset at me? Don't be mad at me.
No, 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 no. Never that. Never. Never. You're one of my favorite people online. Believe it or not.
I mean,
I,
you came on here ready to bite my head off. I'm like, what the hell I ever do to you? Shit.
Usually I talk soft and smooth, and today you heard something different. So I apologize for the inconsistency. It happens.
Yeah, well, you know I have a zero tolerance for nonsense. So hey, I call out nonsense for what it is.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm looking forward to your channel growing greater. And thanks for the channel recommendation. I subscribe. So I'll talk to you sooner than later. I hope to be listening in. I can't guarantee that, but I'll catch the replay either way. You take it easy, all right?
Take care, Mela. Take care.
Okay, fella.
You're number
Bye.
one. You're one and only fella. Mela.
Yeah, yeah, fella. Bye.
Ooh, that was interesting. That was interesting. I thought she wanted to tear my heart out and shove it down my throat, but it is what it is. I figured somebody would get triggered by this. But anyways, Lady Di, Sir James, whoever's back there, whichever one of y'all want to come up and talk about this, feel free to do so. And thanks to your boy, you got a new subscriber. So hooray. It's a win for both of us. But Lady Di, Sir James, if y'all want to talk about this, hey, feel free to hit the link. Come on up here. Let's talk about this. What do y'all think? Do y'all think men are responsible for marriages declining, or you think the women are, or you think both of them are? That's today's topic of discussion. Oh, you're James. Okay, well, it don't matter. One of y'all come up here and one of y'all talk to me. I don't care who. One of y'all, if not both of you, can talk to me. I'm just messing with you, man. But anyways, you want to come up here, hit that link. Feel free to come up here and chop it up with your boy. Okay, give me a minute. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, and as I was saying about this picture, we don't know this man's situation. We don't know what he's going through. Maybe he had a wife, but she passed away, and now he's living by himself. We don't know that. But again, you're putting all the blame on men to change. The women have to change too. All of us have to change. Yes, men need to own up and be married, but what I'm noticing, men for the most part, are already building themselves up to be husbands. They're going to work. They're working 9 to 5. They're learning new tricks. They're already building themselves up to be better versions of themselves. Can women say the same thing? Can they? Or are these women just sitting up here, just getting stagnant, waiting for a man to turn them into a wife? Then they gonna start acting like one. If that's what you're doing as a woman, you're fooling yourself. Again, you got to come to the man already setting your ways of being a wife. You can't just expect the man to put a ring on your finger. You're just supposed to act right. It don't work that way. You can't put conditions on stuff like that. Oh, you're doing a workout? Oh, I was just at the gym yesterday. I was just at the gym myself yesterday, so I get it. Well, if you got time, hey, feel free to come up. Anyways. And by the way, James, what you think of this picture up here? This says how a lot of men will end up if they don't change their mentality. No context, no nothing. Just say as men, we got to change our mindsets if we're going to ever get better. Or end up like this old man, old and by himself eating pasta at a TV. What do you think of that little crazy picture? They're telling us men to change. I say men and women need to change. This would be a much fitting scenario if you had, I don't know, if you had this man and some old lady, I guess, in a whole different frame in a whole different part of the city or whatever, sipping on wine on her couch by herself. And it says, this is the fate of a lot of people if we don't change our mindsets, as in both men and women. Yeah, that's my take on this old crazy looking picture. But it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments below as far as this old crazy picture is concerned. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Now, before I get into my first video, I got to put this little message out here for everyone.
Like, comment, and subscribe, because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
All right. Now I'm going to play this little 49-second clip, and let me know what you think about this in the chat, or if you want to come on the stream and talk about it, feel free to do so. Okay, here we go. Fair use, fair use.
I had an older lady tell me, she's, I think, just past 40, and her husband, I think, is like in his late 30s, like so maybe like 41 and 39. They've been married for a while. I was talking with her about some problems we were having in our marriage, and she said, Joyce, what it sounds like to me is that your issue is that you are married to a real man. And a real man is not going to be ruled by a woman. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, and it immediately came to my mind when I was reading this excerpt. When she says, don't go down the path of expressing criticism, disapproval, and an ultimate lack of acceptance for your husband because it may cause rebellion, she's telling the truth. A real man is not going to allow himself to be a pushover to the woman he has chosen.
Nah, damn, that's deep right there. That's some deep shit right there. Shout out to the elderly woman that gave her that helpful advice, because she's absolutely right. And James, being a married man yourself, you can attest to that. No man should let his woman try to rule him. A real man would never ever tolerate that. That's the way it's supposed to be. So yes, men should go into if a man wants to get married, he got to go into a situation already setting his ways as far as what he's going to tolerate and what he's not going to tolerate. That's what a real man does. Exactly. Facts. That's what a real man does. You don't let your woman rule over you. At the same time, the woman got to come into that same scenario ready to, cooperate and trust this man. Because if you can't trust your own husband, who the fuck you gonna trust? Who you gonna trust? So yeah, she's absolutely right. She married a real man that's not going to tolerate her nonsense, and it's the head of that damn household. That's how that works. But women think that they could just rule over a man. He's just supposed to do whatever she wants. And guess what? When she gets bored with his beta male simp Benjina ways, she gonna lose interest and go running off with a so-called Pookie and Ray Ray. You know, the bad guy, the guy that did her dirty when she was younger, like in high school or college. She go running right back to that dude. At this point, she's not gonna know what she wants. So yes, I say be careful who you marry. If you're a woman, you got a real man by your side. Don't fuck it up because of this damn single sisterhood bimbos out there. Say that 3 times fast. Single sisterhood bimbo. Single sisterhood bimbo. Single sisterhood bimbo. Yeah. But I have another video to show y'all. So just give me a minute. Let me get everything set up. All right, here we go with my first video. Hold on a minute. All right, shout out to Man Reacts. He's talking about the fall of marriages. Men have no choice left now. Yeah, well, let's see what he has to say about this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fair use, fair use.
Western nations have some of the highest divorce rates in the world.
I wonder why.
European countries such as Portugal at 94%, Spain at 85%.
Damn.
Then we have Russia at 73%.
So yeah, it ain't just America, as you can see. Oh my gosh, these are Western, these Western countries. Is other nations suffering almost as bad? They're suffering almost as much, you know.
France at 51%.
That ain't bad.
Canada at 47%. The United States 45%. A friend of mine once said marriage is outdated because he refuses to be a statistic of being taken to the cleaners financially by an emotional being who just wants the clout for the wedding day.
That's a good point. You're better off being single than be dealing with some female that just wants the novelty of having a ring on her finger in the big blowout wedding, and just to say she actually has a man in her life, thus drawing a rank of wife, but yet doesn't want to uphold a title of wife. Ain't that about something? But anyways, fair use.
I guess that makes sense because marriage is a contract that poses the greatest life risk for men and the biggest opportunity for women. Every single girl is motivated by hypergamy, which allows her to only date up. She's also motivated by solipsism.
What is that?
Which is her feelings being her only reality.
Her feelings being her only reality. Oh my God. Your feelings are not the reality. Your feelings are just that. Fucking feelings. That's all they are. Where do women get off thinking like that? Seriously. Where do they get off thinking like that? Their feelings are the reality. That's a bunch of BS right there. Yeah.
And Brault's law, which means that if she doesn't get value out of it, then she won't get into a relationship.
Like the old saying goes, happy wife, happy life, right? No. Just because the wife has to be happy, otherwise the marriage ain't gonna be happy. No, both the man and the woman should be happy. Instead, live by the old saying, happy spouse, happy house. I think that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes, right, James? Happy spouse, happy house, or whatever. Happy house, happy spouse, whatever. How does that go exactly, James? Let me know. Did I say that correctly? But anyways, fair use.
Once men understand this, it's very easy to predict women's behavior with men and society. So long as women are either feminists or feminist influenced, want to have careers, want to squander their peak fertility window, and so long as society demonizes men and masculinity.
Yep. They're not only demonizing masculinity, but they're demonizing femininity as well. It makes no sense to say femininity is weak, but yeah, you want to put feminine traits in our men, while at the same token saying that femininity is a sign of weak, but yeah, you want to say masculinity is a sign of destructiveness, but you want to put those same masculine traits in our women? Does that make any sense? Oh, man. And James said, yes, so I said it right the first time. Happy spouse, happy house. Okay, that's the way it needs to be. Not happy wife, happy life. Yeah. Anyways, fair use.
So long as no-fault divorce laws exist. And so long as
And by the way, I just learned that in Tennessee, they had to get rid of no-fault divorces. And like we discussed on your show, Sir James, that they're going to make paternity tests mandatory out there. So, yeah. They're starting to fall apart in some parts of the world. Tennessee is where it started. Hopefully, let's just hope it spreads nationwide from this point on. But anyways, fair use.
Family court is still in operation. Then the marriage contract is not only an outdated institution, but a really bad idea that is too risky for men's financial future. Until and unless society decides to reverse course and appreciate and promote traditional gender roles, then it is important for men to keep going their own way. The truth is that secular marriage no longer works in this current secular world. A successful marriage requires things like self-sacrifice and commitment.
Yep.
A focus. How's that?
Okay, we got an ad. Oh boy, I hate these ads. By the way, Sir James and Di, how do y'all do these videos without these ads popping up? Don't y'all hate when that shit happens? Y'all must have YouTube Premium because I hate when I know there's ads don't pop up in between y'all videos. But hey, give me some time. I'll get back into this.
Like, comment, and subscribe because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
Oh, welcome back, Cynical One. Where the hell you been at? Did you hear any of what we were talking about? But anyways, welcome back. Like I said, Cynical, you're unpredictable, but you're constantly at your pentacle. You come and go when you want to, but I ain't tripping. All right, let's get back into this. Fair use.
In yourself, such as children. Those values were once held in high esteem, but no longer. Now they are held in outright contempt, and the only things that matter are money, ego, and instant self-gratification.
Yep, absolutely. That's all that matters now. I'm starting to wonder, are people getting married nowadays for love, or they just doing it for convenience? Oh, you downloaded before the stream. Well, I did a little bit of that in my little what they call the brand section. I'm talking about ones coming off my actual computer. The shorts I can download, transfer to my phone, but I can't transfer these. It's too long. They won't accept it. But anyways, because I got to stop it in between. I don't know how to share through my phone. But it is what it is. I'm doing the best I could. Anyways, fair use.
And a strong marriage cannot have a foundation based on those.
No.
The reason why young men don't think marriage is worth it is that we have seen our older brothers' pain. Or a good man, husband, and father did everything for his family, did everything for the wife, even lived with the typical motto, happy wife, happy life.
Nope, that's not the way it goes. Nope, none of that old happy wife, happy life bullshit. No, it's happy spouse, happy house. Just like being Sir James said, that's the way it needs to be. So don't ever go into a marriage thinking the happy life, happy wife mindset or happy wife, happy life mindset. No, no, no. As long as the wife is happy, everything is all good. So that means your happiness as a man don't mean anything? No. That's going to be a failure on the man's part. Because he's not even going into the marriage with the right mindset. He's putting more value on the woman and less value on himself. That's a good way to fuck yourself up real good. But with that being said, I digress. Fair use.
Only for that same woman to betray him with another man who never put a slight effort to make her happy.
A wise man once told me, don't pay full price for something that the last guy got for cheap or for free. So before you marry a woman, make sure that your effort is paying off. Is she giving you peace of mind? Is she giving you the submissive wifey treatments? And before she got married, was she even the kind of woman that any guy would be lucky to have as a wife? I mean, she's the kind of woman that any guy would be lucky to have, not just you, instead of some chick that no man should ever want. But if that applies to her, then I say by all means, go for it. Otherwise, she'll step out on you for a guy that does half of what you're doing, and he's getting better treatments. Trust me, I've been both of those guys. I've been the guy that did the maximum to get a woman, but at the same time, I've been the guy that did the minimum to get access to a woman sexually. So it's all about how she feels about you at the end of the day. But fair use.
As a result, thanks to divorce courts being so biased, he loses everything, including his house, and pays alimony and child support. We young men saw that. We decided that we don't want that. It's quite simple. If she wants you to chase her, she doesn't respect you.
Yeah, no more chasing women. All this stuff y'all talk about. Well, I'm not saying y'all ladies specifically, but that bullshit y'all talk about as, men need to chase. Men are the hunters and the gatherers and the pursuers. You need to chase me. Well, if you don't show that man you want to be chased, or you're not flipping the script and chasing him from time to time, it's a no-go. Playing hard to get is not the same for women as it is for men. A man with half a mind will leave a female that's playing hard to get and put him in a position to chase her. No, ain't nobody gonna do that. Like the man said, she doesn't respect you if she's putting you in a position to chase after her. That ain't happening. No, fuck all that. Fair use, fair use.
And if she doesn't respect you, she's not that into you.
It's best to get a woman's respect first before you try to get her love. I'm just saying.
Core problem, in my opinion, is the fall of Western values. People live their lives in a self-centered, opportunistic way with the aim to lead their lives as responsibility-free as possible, and they prioritize acquisition of wealth over building a family and creating community bonds. And on top of that, there are laws that seem to be aimed more toward the dissolution of relationships and families than keeping them together. Add to that, Western societies have become predominantly secular, which devalues community building and common values.
Damn, that's deep shit right there, but oh man.
Why are men no longer getting married? Due to the serious legal ramifications of marriage in the present day, many men find it impossible to even consider getting married. Its particular focus on the West over other areas. Men now face very high risk and little reward from marriage as a result of how family law has developed and changed over time. That is one of the main problems men have with marriage, and the reason why more and more men are avoiding it.
Makes sense to me.
Family law has really advanced to the point where it is very high risk, but a poor return for men, and low risk, but a great reward for women.
Yeah, basically the woman gets more out of it than the man does. Yep, sounds about right.
If they want to leave it. In fact, 80% of divorces are initially started by women.
You heard that? 84%. I thought it was 74%, but they said 84% are started by the women. So yeah, that's why I say marriages are happening a lot less because of us men, but they fall apart mainly because of women. Since they're the ones initiating the divorces 84% of the time. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, fair use.
Quite a bit of them pre-planned for financial reasons. We all understand that even half of the divorce is pretty much the end of it all. As a result, if you find yourself in a married situation, and it doesn't even have to be marriage, the state will recognize that as a common law marriage, even
Yeah, here we go with these ads again. Give me a minute, folks. And we're back. Fair use.
And if you live together for a sufficient amount of time, like in many Western countries, they will also regard your breakup as a marriage since, by law, they treat it as a marriage.
Yeah, damn these old common law marriages. For better or for worse. So if you live with somebody for an extended period of time, even though y'all not legally married, they'll consider it a marriage. And when y'all break it off, it's still done under the confines of a marriage. That's where common law marriages come in. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is a matter of opinion. I don't know. But that's how they do it. Anyways, fair use.
It then includes child custody arrangements and marital assets that are intended to benefit women. This brings up another problem that males have. Why should a guy get married when they see so many other men lose their parental rights to women who don't care about the children?
Exactly. Don't give me that bullshit that all women are not going to act like this. Men need to choose better. Nonsense like that. I agree. Men do need to choose better, but what the hell are we going to have to choose from? Men need to choose better women, but at the same time, the women that are surrounding us, the women that we encounter on a regular basis, they're not making themselves valuable options for us to choose from. Because seriously, ain't no man finna jump through hoops for a woman that's not even a goddamn trophy. Which would you rather get for winning the Olympics, the silver trophy or the gold trophy? You want the gold trophy. Where all the women you surround yourself with, are they even worthy of being called gold trophies? Probably not. Single baby mamas, 304s, ratchet chicks, they're not gold trophy. They're more bronze and silver trophies, if anything. Bottom of the barrel. That's what we're dealing with. Best to go to a female who's already done the work, already took accountability for her fuckery, and is willing to be a good woman to a good man. Anyways, fair use.
They just end up losing a major chunk of their paycheck, sending money to their ex-wife, and then seeing how severely their relationship with their children deteriorates. For a good reason, such women are referred to as divorce machines. I'm not sure whether there is a solution or a method to get around the fact that men are purposefully and strategically avoiding marriage. As several guys have often asked me, how can you satisfy the biological want to pass on your seed? By nature, men are designed to scatter their seed, while women are designed to basically seek the highest value men who they can intertwine with.
That's just nature for you.
Raise children, utilize their resources, and manage their resources for the good of family and community. Although there are two distinct dynamics, the status of family law is so dismal that it is just not sane from any point of view for a man to live in a situation that the state considers to be a married arrangement. Why would you put yourself in a position where the state might decide what happens to your assets, monthly income, and parental access?
You wouldn't.
As an example, the indigenous couldn't accomplish much with their spears and wooden arrows when the white European settlers arrived in North America and began to use their cannons and rifles against them. They were at a disadvantage. That's the situation men face in marriage. The whole legal system is designed to fire bullets at them while they're only given sticks to defend themselves. At the point of exit or divorce, women have a distinct upper hand in the intimacy marketplace. And the only way things will get better is if the guys are also given incentives. In order to address this issue, men must be offered incentives during this process if we want things to get better, and for men to not avoid marriage in our society. So, men have realized that the game is rigged against them.
Exactly. Rigged against them. It's all rigged against them. Oh, okay. Take care, Sir James. Feel free to come back anytime soon. I mean, you got a little time. Hit the link and chop it up with me, but if you gotta go, it is what it is. Thank you for stopping by. But anyways, fair use, fair use.
With marriage, they're taking a huge risk, which includes losing their life savings, their house, their cars, their income, and their self-esteem. And the legal system is crafted in such a way that women are given the benefit at every corner and from every angle. While men are assumed to be the perpetrators of disharmony in the relationship, and hence, they are required to compensate for it by financing women for the rest of their lives.
And sometimes be the women starting all the bullshit. So yeah, it's a he said, she said type stuff. But it's always us men who have to bear the responsibility for it. All right, fair use, fair use.
In addition, family law is constructed in a way that disincentives women from acting fairly or in the children's best interests. Family law works against men. This is also part of the problem. The way family law is established is intended to maximize their hypergamous nature when they divorce. And need prescription, I would.
Okay.
Like, comment, and subscribe, because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
All right, welcome back. All right, fair use.
And as you probably already know, women are always seeking stability. They are always seeking upgrades to where they are at. That's how some women view marriage and the advantages of divorce, if that gives you a little bit of insight and helps you to understand a little bit more. I'm aware that some women may point out that their divorces didn't go that way and that they had to pay the man.
Wow, yes, that does happen. That does happen. All right.
Yes, that can also happen at times, especially when the case is too obvious for the whole world to see, when a woman is trying to basically take all of his resources, even when the guy had practically done nothing wrong to her.
Exactly. Man could be doing everything right, but she still want to take him for what he's worth because she's full of shit.
Not cheated on her, not abused her, not given her love, care, and attention. So when this sort of case occurs, the judges sometimes rule in the guy's favor, but it's very rare. However, because of the nature of the intimacy market and how men and women connect, guys frequently find themselves in situations where they meet attractive women who end up marrying them. Meaning that when they get married, the guys are a few points higher than them. However, when the divorce occurs, she wants to maintain her position, and hence retaliates through the divorce, and as a result, ends up with his finances and assets.
Wow.
In the end, it comes down to the fact that males struggle to satisfy their biological urges, and women are doing nothing to change it.
Nothing whatsoever. Like Mella said, depriving a man of something can cause a marriage to fall apart. Depriving a man of access to you sexually is gonna fuck up the whole marriage. And that he's thirsty. I mean, he should want that from his woman if he's married to her. So hey.
Here's my sincere advice. For most ambitious men, it is a much better return on investment to work on becoming the very best version of yourself. Do the things that bring you joy. You can still have terrific relationships without bringing state law into your life and finances. Divorce, child support, and child custody laws are not changing for the better anytime soon.
No, they're not.
Go live your best life. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing.
Well, that's the end of the video. What y'all thought about that? So like I said, it's the men and the women that need to change. It ain't just the men. The women need to do the work too, you know. So people keep putting all the blame on men. Nah. I'm not trying to say marriages are completely dead. I encourage men to find that special someone, especially in this old fucked up ass dating market. And I have reason to believe that maybe some of us are just not fit to be in relationships because some of us are older with no kids. Maybe this is just a man upstairs saying it ain't for us. So you find that one, I say hold on to her if she is worth holding on to. Or hold on to someone that you just need to just need to let go of, because no, that ain't gonna work too well in your favor. Okay. Great show, great show we got going on here. Okay, we're at the 1 hour mark. Well, since nobody else is coming on the panel right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a brief 5 to 10 minute stream break. I'll be right back soon. Just don't go away. There's plenty more content to come talking about this juicy topic. Okay, be right back, everybody. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's get back into this, folks. I still have another video to show y'all. But first, let me bring it up. Where is it? All right, here's my next video. This one, shout out to the manhood. This one says 10 reasons why men are avoiding marriage. All right, let's hear what this guy has to say. Anyways, fair use. And anybody listening in the backstage, feel free to comment on whatever it is you like, or just hit this link, and we'll just hit this link right here. And feel free to come up and let's talk about this. All right, anyways, fair use, fair use.
In recent years, very few people are getting into marriage contracts.
I wonder
and
why.
Surprisingly, less men appear to be intrigued. Men no longer view marriage as significant and important and significant as they used to 30 years ago. According to Pew Research Center, the number of ladies aged 18-34 who believe that having a successful marriage is one of the best achievements in life went up by 9%, from 28% to 37% in 1997. For men, the opposite happened. The percentage of men voicing the idea went down by 6%, from 35% to 29%.
That's a huge
Why
drop.
are men no longer interested in getting married? Why is marriage no longer in the interest of men? It just so happens the issue isn't that men are juvenile or apathetic.
I could have told you that. All this stuff about, oh, men are just committophobes. Yeah, there's some men out there that are committophobes, but come on. There are actually some men out there that want to get married and start a family. But judging by how our society has changed over the years, we don't prioritize that anymore like we used to. So yeah, this man's going to explain top 10 reasons why men are avoiding marriages altogether. Let's hear what he has to say.
They're responding objectively to the impetuses in the present society.
Correct.
Here are 10 reasons why men think marriage is not worth it anymore. 1. You'll lose respect. A few decades ago, a man wasn't viewed as completely grown up until he was married and has several kids.
Exactly. That's a good point. Back in the day, you weren't considered a man, or at the very least a full-grown adult, until you were in a relationship with somebody and had kids. You know, there was a time where women often felt this way. If they weren't married by a certain age, then hell, they weren't mature enough, they weren't responsible adults, or whatever the case may have been. Now they flipped the script and said to put all that burden on men. Now, if you're a 30-something-year-old man with no wife or kids, you're not grown up. You're not fully an adult. That's how it was back in the day. Now, let's see what it's evolved into over the last few decades.
However, today fathers are figures of fun more than figures of respect. The guy with the Boston diaper sack at the shopping mall, or the one from the endless array of buffoonish TV dads in sitcoms and commercials.
And I think it's crazy how back then TV shows didn't depict dads as being dumb idiots that couldn't do shit right. I think back in the day, sitcoms portrayed fathers pretty well. Bill Cosby, to a degree. Flex Washington from the show One-on-One. He's one of the more cool, laid-back, chill dads, but can get tough on his daughter whenever it came down to it. But these days, sitcoms don't depict fathers in the most positive light anymore. Now they're ignorant buffoons while the wife is the responsible one in the family. And hell, she's probably the one running the household now. So yeah, the title of husband doesn't hold the same value as it did back then. That's basically what he's saying. Fair use?
In today's culture, fathers never know best. It's not any better in the news media. By volume, 69% of mass media reporting and commentary on men was unfavorable, compared with just 12% favorable and 19% neutral or balanced. 2, you'll lose out on intercourse. Married men have more intimacy than single men on average, but much less than guys who are cohabiting with their girlfriends.
Wait, say that again.
Or balanced. 2, you lose out on intercourse.
Yeah, lose out on intercourse. Ain't that about some shit? Because back in the day, people got married for the purpose of gaining access to each other sexually. Back then, it was customary to get married to get married before having sex. So whether or not they had good intentions back then is a matter of opinion. Maybe some men married a woman because they either one, wanted access to her cooch, or 2, already got access to her cooch, got her pregnant. Now they have to marry them. But I guess thanks to sexual liberation, that's been ruined now. Now women can have sex with a man regardless of whether or not she gets pregnant. She doesn't have to necessarily marry the guy. You may think that's a good thing, but now it led to a culture where women can have babies out of wedlock and not have to take responsibility for it. There's no responsibility to marry the guy, but there's no responsibility of her owning up to the fact that she was irresponsible with her goddamn womb. So yeah, that's kind of what messed it all up. But anyways, but now you don't necessarily, for as long as I can remember, you don't need to be in a relationship with someone just to have sex. And all you religious fiends out there can down me for this all you want to. I'm just telling you the truth. I respect those who don't want to have sex who don't want to fornicate. I respect your desires not to fornicate. You do you. But hey, that ain't for some of us. In fact, in the perfect world, I would tell every man and woman, don't have sex until you're married. But you know, we're horny men. We're men. We have sexual desires, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, the sexual liberation movement back in the 60s ruined that. Now we can get access to women sexually if we play the game right without having to marry her, let alone commit to her. Again, men are not the ones who created these rules. Women created these rules. They want to be liberated. They got it. Now they can let a man tap that ass and not have to worry about getting married or anything like that. Well, there you go. And men are just following suit. Since we can't tell them a goddamn thing, let's just follow suit and give them whatever the hell they want. I'm horny. I want some cooch. I'm just going to get it in and get out. If I'm lucky, I'll find me a woman that doesn't subscribe to that kind of nonsense. So, and that'll be that. But anyways, fair use.
Married men have more intimacy than single men on average, but much less than guys who are cohabiting with their girlfriends or partners outside of marriage. Research even suggests that married women are more likely to gain weight than women who are cohabiting without marriage.
Damn. And I've seen that before. I've seen married men and women been together for some years, and at least one partner gains a little bit of weight. And that kind of makes sense. You know, you got when you're having babies or whatever, baby weight builds up. But as a woman, it's your job to get yourself in shape. You said now they're telling men, take a woman as she is. If you can't have her at her worst, you'll deserve her at her best. Really? So if she lets herself go and decides she want to gain some weight, that man still supposed to love and be with her? Fuck no. You let yourself go. I'm not inclined to be with you because as a man, I'm a visual creature. I like what I see. I'm attracted to you sexually. Once that's gone, there's no point in me being with you. What are you to me now? It's not about objectifying women, but hell, we all know part of being in a relationship is based on sexual attraction. And women will do right for the right kind of man. And by that, I mean the man she finds attractive, regardless of his character. But I encourage women to keep themselves in shape for the good men. I mean, seriously, y'all ain't got a problem busting y'all asses at the goddamn gym when y'all single. So why let yourself go when you finally get into a marriage? Why? And shout out to the married women out there and married men who keep themselves in shape despite being married. Because I guess y'all feel like, hey, some people feel like I got a wife or I got a husband or whatever. There's no need for me to go to the gym and get in shape anymore. No. There's no need to. And same thing with a man getting off his purpose now that he got a woman, no longer being focused on other things now that he got a woman. You can't lose yourself in a marriage like that. Physically or mentally, you just can't lose yourself in a marriage like that. Don't let yourself go mentally or physically. And I think it's kind of shameful. You got single women who are more in shape than some of these married women. To me, that's crazy. But anyways, fair use.
A Men's Health article mentioned one study that followed over 2,500 people for 6 years. The study found out that cohabitors said they were happier and more confident than married couples and young singles.
So people living together without being married are happier than married couples. Ain't that some shit? Woo!
3. Dating apps work out just fine for most men.
Like hell they do. Most men? How about just some men? Because depending on where you stay in the looks department, you're going to have women checking for you. You may not have women checking for you. And I'm going to say it's about the dating app thing. Y'all remember back in the day how when dating sites were a thing, men and women put in effort to meet somebody? Them days been long since gone. Nowadays, you'd be hard-pressed to meet anybody off of a dating app now. Now it's all about clout chasing. It's all about getting likes, comments, and subscriptions. They want attention. Go to a dating app today. First thing you're going to see, possibly, not here for a hookup. Then what the fuck you doing on a goddamn dating app? That's like going to a barbershop saying you're not looking for a haircut or a hair salon. You're not looking for to get your hair done. You're taking up space you're taking up space there. So why bother? Why do that? So dating apps have more or less made dating harder because now they have unrealistic expectations. They got so many men to choose from, even though they're men that they'll never meet in a day in their lives. And that's what they do. As men, we don't have options like that. We got options because there's so many women that exist on the app, but who's actually checking for me? Who am I matching up with? It's limited for men, unlimited practically for a lot of women. So yeah, that's how that works. But anyways, fair use.
Thanks to technology, today men can interact with women from all over the world and find love. Depending on the app you use, men can swipe, chat, and hook up in a matter of hours. For a man who has no interest in commitment, this is the perfect tool for him to find an endless supply of intimate satisfaction.
If he's attractive, a Chad Tyrone type attractive, yeah.
For such men who are non-committal, marriage means an unnecessary imprisonment. The only downside is that if he ever needs support through a health crisis or emotionally taxing life moment, such apps will be of little aid.
Exactly. And that affects men and women. But perhaps men are more apt to dealing with that. But women, on the other hand, no. Because when you're in a health crisis or a serious predicament, those same people you know on social media are not going to come to your goddamn rescue. The guy you had for a one-night stand last night that you met on Tinder, he ain't coming to your rescue when your car break down. Probably not. He got what he wanted, and now he's moving on to the next conquest. Same thing with us men. The females that we're lucky enough to hook up with ain't going to be there for us in the long run, but just a one-night hookup. But I guess as men, we're more able to deal with that. But it affects both of us, but I guess it affects the ladies more so than the men. Anyways, fair use.
4. You lose friends. Those wedding bells are breaking up that old gang of mine. That is an old melody, but entirely it's valid. When married, men's ties with friends from school and work tend to fade.
Well, that's just part of the process. Now, I did a whole show talking about whether or not married men and women should have friends outside of their marriage. And we agreed, no. Whatever friends you knew in high school, middle school, college, set boundaries for those friends. But as far as making new friends of the opposite sex, that's a no-go. As Drake would say, no new friends, no new friends, no new friends. That's how that goes. So maybe that may be a bad thing for some people, but it's just part of the process. I mean, come on, if you're a married woman, you want your girlfriends coming over to the house like they did back when y'all was still single? No, probably not. Same thing with y'all men. You want your homeboys coming over like they did back in the day? No, it don't work like that. I lost touch with a lot of my married friends from way back in the day. I mean, I still have some single male friends I talk to, but the ones that got married, I lost touch with them a long time ago. Now I just see them at the high school reunions, or we bump into each other in the store or something. Yeah. So that close bond you have with your friends of the same gender or the opposite gender kind of more or less fade away once you're married. But maybe that's part of the process. I mean, who wants to be single and still chasing tail at 40, 50 years old? Now you got someone you can be with. Find a good partner to be with. But anyways, fair use.
Although both men and women lose friends after marriage, it tends to affect men's self-esteem more. Perhaps
Is that a fact? Do tell.
because men tend to be less social in general. 5.
We're less social in general. Yeah, for some of us maybe. But anyways, go ahead.
You lose space. We hear a ton about men escaping to their man caves. Why do they escape?
Well, when you're married, there's no such thing as a man cave. Now it's a man cave. There's no such thing.
Because they've lost the battle for the rest of the house. The improvement of rural ways of life, intended to bring the family together, resulted in the elimination of male spaces in the main part of the house and the exile of men to attics, garages, basements, the least desirable part of the home. As a commenter to the Post observes, there was no sadder scene to a movie than in Juno when married guy Jason Bateman realized that in his entire huge house, he had only a large closet to keep all the stuff he loved in. That hits like a punch in the face. 6. You could do to your children and your cash. Also, they may not actually be your children.
Like they say, a mother's baby, but a father's maybe. Yeah. Paternity fraud. Something I talked about on one of my previous streams. Yeah. Who's to say you're not raising a child that is probably not yours? Yeah, it happens more often than people think. But anyways, fair use.
Heaps of men are stressed because of the fact that either get married and it turns sour. The wife could take everything, including the children. Men are worried that they could end up paying child support for children who aren't even theirs, an undeniable chance in many states. In a survey of over 3,200 men that asked how they would respond to knowing a kid wasn't theirs, 32% said they would feel outrage and rage at the mother, 6% said they would feel misery, 18% said outrage and sorrow, 32% responded furious at the system.
I'd be all of that combined. Furious, upset, depressed, the whole fucking 9. Sheesh.
Forced them to pay, and just 2% didn't care. One man remarked that his ex-gift had provoked him with the information that his 11-year-old child wasn't really his. I resented the mother. I cut off all connections to the kid. Some might consider this to be weak. I consider it to be self-protection. To those that pose the inquiry of whether the courts will make a non-biological parent pay child support. Yes, they wail. They see you as nothing more than a source of cash for the child. A person in these situations should only be able to sue the real father for child support. 7. You'll lose in court. Men frequently grumble that the family court general set of laws is stacked against them by all accounts.
It is, believe it or not. You will lose in court, believe that. We all know that these family courts and divorce courts favor women over men. The only time I will say this though, I had a buddy of mine that got married back in 2006, but he got divorced the following year in 2007. And by some luck, he managed to get custody of their now 17-year-old son. So thank the heavens for that. He raised his now 17-year-old son to be a healthy individual. Now he's granted parental visit. Now the wife, the ex-wife of his, is granted parental visits every now and then. She'll come around for birthdays, and hell, my little godson even spent a couple of years in another state with his mama. So I guess they're doing what's called a co-parenting relationship. But for the most part, aside from that 1%, 2, 3, 4, 5% that do get custody, the remaining large majority of men are not going to fare well in family courts. Automatically, everything goes to the wife or the ex-wife or whatever, the female, whatever. It's all going to her because they want to favor her over the man. But anyways, fair use.
Women gain custody most of the time. In spite of the expansions in men chasing and getting divorce settlement, advocates caution against connecting the pattern to equity in the court. Family court passes judgment will generally lean toward ladies. Family court actually gives custody predominantly to moms, child support payments predominantly to men. The family courts were established a long time back to give things to mothers that mothers required.
Yeah, but they took advantage of that system. You know what they say, don't get mad at the system, get mad at these dumb broads who took advantage of it. They'll play victim just so they can get what they want from the family courts, and sometimes use the kids against the father. That does happen. I'm not saying all of y'all do this, but that does happen, yeah.
The circumstances have changed and the courts have not. 8. You'll lose your freedom. At any rate, If you're accused of child support that you can't pay, you can be placed in prison. And in the event that you can't manage the cost of a lawyer, you don't reserve the privilege to have one appointed, because as per the High Court, it's in fact a common matter. A new report concludes that between 95% and 98.5% of all incarcerations in Massachusetts sentenced from the Massachusetts Probate and Family Courts from 2001 through 2011 have been men. Moreover, this percentage may be increasing, with an average of 94.5% from 2001 to 2008,
Wow, that's a lot of
and
numbers.
96.2% from 2009 through 2011. It is likely that most of these incarcerations are for incomplete payment of child support.
Yeah, not everybody that goes to jail is a criminal, you know. Being locked up for not paying child support, yeah. And I read a story about a guy who didn't pay child support since 1996. A time when I had to been at least, I was in middle school back in 1996. He went all them years, 28, 27 years, not paying child support. Ain't that about some shit? Yeah. So yeah, that does happen. How you got away with that is beyond me for 2 decades. But it happens. Yep, it happens. But anyways, fair use.
Further analysis suggests that women who fail to pay all of their child support are incarcerated only 1/8 as often as men with similar violations. 9. Single life is over and above anyone's expectations. While the worth of union with men has declined, the nature of single life has gotten to the next level. Single men were once looked on with doubt, ignored for promotions to significant positions, which typically promoted stable family men. It was difficult to have an adoration life that wasn't focused on marriage, and early intercourse was hazardous and disapproved of.
Wow.
Presently, nobody gawks at the single way of life. Dating is simple, and managers likely incline toward representatives with no clashing family obligations. Also, computer games, satellite television, and the web gives diversion that didn't used to be accessible.
Yeah. Got to remember, 25 years ago, we didn't have online gaming. Now, I will say 23 years ago, I think we did, but it wasn't as prevalent back then. So yeah, we didn't have these kind of things to distract us and give us a reason to stay single. I'm not going to sit up here and say you should be some immature brat that plays video games all day instead of socialize with people. Do what you want to do with your life, but try to find some balance there. And if you got to sacrifice gaming just to get with a good woman, I say go for it. If and only if she is in fact a good woman. If she's full of shit, no, it ain't worth it. But yeah, you got to sacrifice some degree of freedom just so you can actually maintain a healthy relationship. Some of us want to pay that price, but for others, no, we're not doing that. But anyway, fair use.
Is this really great for society?
No.
Most likely not, as falling rates of birth and expanding single parenthood illustrate.
Mm-hmm.
The people respond to incentives. If you believe that more men should wed, it should be a more appealing suggestion. 10. Technology taking women's place. Funny.
Or taking women and men's place, actually. I wonder who's being replaced more by modern technology, men or women? Because, you know, women would rather be on dating apps and social media than actually try to meet a good man. And they say it's more men on social media, on dating apps, than it is women. So I don't know who's being replaced here. I mean, if men are willing to put in all that work if out of 10 men, 8 of them are putting in effort to try to create dating profiles to just, find a hookup or whatever, while the 2 rather meet women in a conventional sense, it makes you wonder, are these men trying to replace those 8 men trying to replace actual dating with virtual dating? That's one way to look at it. But then again, yes, it's more men than women. But then again, those 8 men, depending on where they stand in the list department, are not going to get that many matches. If anything, it's the women that's got match after match after match, comment after comment, like after like, just for looking sexy. So it's like it benefits them more so than the men. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments about this whole thing. Anyways, fair use.
Enough. Women tell you that they will stop drinking when they get married.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants such women as a mother to their children? Technology seems to be playing a major role in as far as discouraging men from marriage is concerned. Gadgets such as microwaves and the availability of ready-made food has made life much easier for most single men. Every invention tries to fill a certain gap. A microwave,
Yeah, but it's very time consuming buying all them goddamn dinners. I'm just saying.
for instance, revolutionized cooking. A man doesn't need a woman to wake up and fix or warm him a meal late at night when he gets home from work or drinking. Besides cooking, even skills such as washing and ironing have been replaced by machines or cleaning ladies. Thus, men rarely expect to feel the presence of a wife in their lives like their fathers did. Without these privileges, some men hardly see the need for marriage. 11. Single mother's menace.
Yep, the rise of single motherhood.
The availability of physical intimacy from men and carelessness of some women has led to rampant cases of single mothers. Some of the men interviewed for this report claim that most of the women available tend to have children somewhere.
Yeah, I can vouch for that myself. I'm 39 years old, and I'm gonna say about 70% of the women I interact with are single mothers. So yeah, he ain't lying about that. Especially the older women. I mean, we got women in their 20s and 30s who got kids by other men. So yeah, he is honestly not lying about that. I've seen more single mothers than I have women who are single and childless. And the ones that are childless can't even have kids, so marrying them was pointless. So where do we stand in all this? But anyways, fair use.
It's amazing. Almost all the women I know whom I thought would make great girlfriends or even wives are single mums, argues Charles, a university student. He adds that majority single mums, argues Charles, a university student. He adds that majority of women he ends up with always turn out to have children. Something he says complicates matters even further.
Yeah, who wants to be a goddamn stepdaddy? And all that emotional intelligence bullshit that some people talk about. Oh, you're a mature man with emotional intelligence. You'll take care of another man's child. I ain't got to do that goddamn shit. So who wants to commit to a single mother? Yeah, single motherhood has gotten so out of control that damn near a large majority of women got kids. You can bet your bottom dollar that most of the women you interact with throughout your lifetime, they're going to be single moms. That's just how bad the single mother epidemic has gotten. If you're lucky enough to find one that's childless, yeah, she may hold some value. I know some females personally who don't have kids of their own, but getting with them is just out of my hands due to circumstances beyond my control. But it is what it is.
For Fabian, a 32-year-old business executive in New York, another reason men no longer marry is that a big number of marriageable women have children.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the rising number of men who no longer view marriage as not worth it?
It's bullshit, but it is what it is. They're just following suit when it comes to women that just don't want to be married.
Tell us down in the comments. Please subscribe and turn on notifications.
Damn. Well, that's the video. And that last one really hit hard. With the rise in single motherhood, it's no wonder men don't want to get married anymore. Don't want to get married. A large number of our women, especially in this Black community, are single mothers. And until we stop praising these women for being single mothers, we're not going to get any better. Oh, you can do it all by yourself. You can raise a child without a father. Husbands are not necessary. With that kind of fucked up attitude, why should we get married in this culture? Why should we? It's just crazy the kind of world we live in. Anybody want to chime in? Feel free to do so. Anybody want to come up and chop it up with your boy? Feel free to do so. Feel free to do so. All right, let me get into my next short. Oh, damn, where is it? Oh, here it is. Here's a video by the famous Andrew Tate. Let's see what he has to say. Fair use?
So the problem is that there's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man. There is zero statistical advantage. If you use your mind, if you use your head instead of your heart, and you look at the advantages to getting married, there are absolutely and utterly none. Because this new idea of new age feminism just basically destroys all men in the idea, in the event of her leaving. And it's very common that women leave, right? Let's stop the man versus woman attack, etc., etc. Life's difficult for everybody. We all have different challenges, different things to go through. But if a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak, fine. But if a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him, and he has to give that chick money forever.
In some places, you don't even have to be married.
Exactly.
That's why the men don't want to live with the women either.
That's right. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment.
Yep, that about sums it up. Shout out to Andrew Tate. That about sums it up. If it goes wrong for the woman, she just goes through emotional heartbreak. If it goes bad for the man, he's got emotional heartbreak and financial and mental heartbreak. So yeah, it's more damaging for the men than it is for the women. At least emotional heartbreak you can work through, but financial heartbreak, that's not something you can just bounce back from immediately like that. So yeah, I can see why it's being viewed as something more of a detriment to men than it is for women. So we create all these goddamn rules that put men at a disadvantage. What do you think those men are going to do? They're going to say, you know what, fuck it. I don't want to get married. I don't want to start a family. I don't want to do any of that bullshit. It's just not going to happen for me. And that's what you're seeing happen right here. Men are just saying no to marriages left and right, up and down. They don't want to do it. It's sad to say. Now, granted, all women are not like this. I'm tired of saying this, but people tend to think I'm trying to be negative all the time. But like I was telling my homegirl Mella, I've learned to embrace negativity over the last few decades. I embrace it. I'm not going to become the negativity, but I am going to embrace it for what it's worth. I believe knowing what you for the first step to understanding what you want out of life is knowing what you do not want out of life. And if you understand why marriages are falling apart and declining nowadays, maybe now they can give you some blueprint as far as what you need to do to make a marriage work and what kind of person you need to marry. It gives you a blueprint as far as making a marriage work. And that's basically what this little lecture is about. Talking about who's responsible for the decline in marriages. Men, women, or both. And I say both are. So yeah, you use that as a blueprint as far as figuring out not only do you want to get married, but who you want to marry. Remember, if it goes wrong for you, you asked out. That's just the way that goes. There's no getting around that, I'm afraid. All right, I have one more clip to show you. And this one, shout out to Candace Owens for this one.
A shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men.
Ask this question all the time.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
C-A-P. Cap.
That's cap.
Damn right it is. You're damn right that's cap. I'm sorry, y'all. I just needed an excuse to use those means. Okay. Just needed a reason to use those means. But anyway, let's get back into this. Fair use, fair use.
A shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men.
ask this question all the time.
Stop the cap.
You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right? Maybe in the instant when men are not thinking with their big heads and they're saying, oh, whoa, she's half naked, great, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
That might be what a man wants. But long term, that's not what a man wants. A man doesn't want a girl that's just going to be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see. You know, that I don't have to be a man to know that that's not what men want. So then you say men suck. I'm looking at you going, I'm not a dude. I wouldn't date you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, self-perpetuating problem. Not enough women calling out the fact that women are not desirable right now, in my opinion, right? They're sexually desirable, but I wouldn't want to take you home to mom desirable.
Yep, say what you will about Candace Owens, but she's right on that. Talk about there are no eligible men for us to marry. Seriously? There are no good men out there for y'all to marry? No. It's the fact that a lot of our modern women don't put themselves out there to be eligible for marriage. That's the bottom line. They don't put themselves out there to be eligible for marriage. Let me know in the comments what you think of that video. Was Candace Owens on point with that? Y'all think Candace Owens was right about that? She basically said that there are less women out here that are marriage-minded and desirable for a relationship. Yeah, men will smash that ass or tap that ass, but they're not going to want to take her seriously. In a perfect world, I would say leave these easy hoes alone, but we're horny, we're men, we're horny, we have sexual desires. Yeah, we just going to tread carefully and choose a little bad girl, the bad girl with the heart of gold. Yeah, so we'll message you just to get our penises satisfied, but we're not gonna take you home to meet our families. That's a true fact. We're just we have more common sense than to do that. All right, on to my next video, and this one is by Maurice Speece. Hold on, Maurice Speece the Beast. Okay. And it says, who's responsible for decline in marriages and relationships? Kind of like what I'm talking about right now. Let's hear his take on this whole thing. So what do you think, sir? Who do you think is responsible for the decline in marriages and relationships? Men, women, or both? Let's hear what he has to say. Fair use?
Well, I hope all is well. Today I want to talk about the decrease in Black relationships and marriages and what caused this decrease, right? So this is a very important conversation that we must have, because there are a lot of men and women out here that are saying that they don't need, the opposite sex, right? Men saying they don't need women, women saying they don't need men, they only need.
Yep, that's what they're saying. Women say they don't need men, men say don't need women. Well, what can I say about
the cap? Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap! No bullshit, bro.
Yep, it's all cap. Even though, so it's not complete cap on man's part, because let's face it, men don't need women as much as women need men. Women need men to do all sorts of manly things around the house that they can't do for themselves. They just don't know how to do for themselves. Car breaks down, they need a man. Plumbing's broken, they need a man. Unless they can fix it themselves. Heavy furniture needs to be moved and lifted up and moved. They need a man for that. So yeah. But we don't need women for anything outside of peace of mind, companionship, and sexual gratification. And that doesn't require a lot in comparison to what men have to give to a woman. So yeah, I think women need men more. But anyways, I digress. Fair use.
Them for this, only need them for that. And we all know how that conversation goes. But we have got to begin to build back stronger families, or strong families in general, right?
Yep.
So the question is, who is at fault for this decrease in the number of relationships and marriages in the Black community, right?
Yep, that's the question. Who's responsible for the decline in marriages and relationships? Is it men? Is it women? Or is it both? Let's see what he has to say.
Is it the men? Is it the women? Well, I've got the answer.
What is it?
The answer is both.
Exactly. Thank you. There you go. He said it. This man just confirmed what I just said. It's both men and women. not men, not women. Both sides are responsible for the decline in marriages and relationships. Kind of like what I said at the beginning of the stream. As men, we're the reasons why marriages are happening a lot less, but the ladies are the reasons why the marriages are falling apart for the most part. After all, they initiate 75%, 85% of our divorces, right? So they're the reason that they fall apart. But anyways, fair use.
The men and the women, right? So the thing about it is, many men and women in our community have began to walk away from God in large numbers. So it's always been a little shaky here and there. But if you go way back, right, 50s, 60s, when we were married at about 80%, you know.
Yeah, 80%. Well, actually, sir, according to this diagram here, but that might be close to what you're saying. According to this here, yeah. In the 60s, damn near 70% were married. 70% of people were getting married. By 2010, dropped to like 51%. Yeah. That's kind of accurate. Close enough.
Many of our ancestors, you can say, or great-grandparents, grandparents, were big in the church, big in their faith, you know, chase after God, and they had stronger families back then. Now, in this day and age, many of our women are only married at 26%. That's only 1 out of 4, right? 1 out of 4 Black women are married, right? Which those numbers have dropped drastically.
Right.
So this is why this conversation is very important. Now, as far as the men go, right? Many of the men has actually left the church, right? So
and yeah, I was told that it's more women at church than men. Well, I'm gonna go to my own church one day and see if there's any truth to that. Because I still see men going to church. Some of them go with their wives or whatever. But I've been told it's more single women at church than it is men. And no doubt some of them are probably single mothers, but it is what it is. Okay, fair use.
Our churches are full of women. Now, there are some men in there. Many of the men in there are married.
Right.
But there are a lot of women in there that are not married. And there are more women in the church than men in the Black church.
You would think this is a good thing for single men looking for a God-fearing Christian woman, but is it truly a good thing, or is it too good to be true? What do you think?
Now, many of the men have left the church, and I'm pretty sure they've had their reasons. But the issue with that is many of these men are not able to chase after God, follow God, and lead, you know, these women or their families.
Exactly. That's deep right there. Follow God and lead the women that God created for us. See, how are we going to lead women that don't want to follow our lead? God put men on this earth to be the leaders of society, but apparently the women that he created for us don't want to follow said lead. When I talk about they're not going to follow they're not going to follow certain men, they have this narrative that they're not going to follow any man. So how do you lead a society full of people that are not inclined to follow your lead? So yeah, that's a good point. Fair use.
Without, you know, having a relationship or being involved in the church, right? So many of these men can't do it on their own. So this creates a group of men who don't have a strong foundation and are misleading the women who they, you know, get involved with. They're misleading these women. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have a lot of women who haven't necessarily left the church. They're still in the church. But when it comes to following God's word, many of them like to pick and choose which scriptures they want to live by. The problem.
Pick and choose what scriptures they want to live by instead of just following the whole book as a whole. Like, I'll pick this and live by it instead of just following the whole damn rules. That's like me going to work and deciding what rules I want to follow, what rules I'm going to break. It just don't work that way.
What that is, when he talks about being a wife, being a woman who has a quiet, meek spirit, you know, being submissive, following a man's leadership. They like to throw those scriptures out of the window.
Yep.
Not all of them, though.
Not all of them, but most of them. Independent boss chick lifestyle. Yeah.
You do have some good women out here, right? You have some good women out here, and most of them are already married or are in serious relationships.
And that's the second downside. The women who are marriage minded are already in marriages. So what are we stuck with? You'll lose 304s that don't want to submit to God and don't want to, well, they'll submit to God, yes, but they don't want to submit to God's teachings. And you don't want to submit to a man, a God-fearing man. So that's all we got to work with. I don't want to sound religious or anything like that, but I'm sorry, but that's just all that we have to work with. Women, like this man said, that pick and choose what scriptures they want to follow. Anything having to do with making a man head of the household, they're like, no, the hell with that. We're not going to do that shit. No. I'm the boss. So that goes out the window. But yet the man got to be God-fearing and still lead the household and still be the head of the household, despite the fact that his woman is not going to follow his lead. Though technically speaking, he's not head of the household. She is. That goes against the Bible. That goes against the commands. That goes against what God wants. But she's picking and choosing what she wants to follow. But the man got to follow the book to a T. Ain't that something? Again, that would be like going to work, deciding what rules you want to break and what rules you want to follow. You just can't do that. But anyways, fair use. You got to be consistent. Fair use.
The quote unquote good ones that follow God's word, that have that kind, meek spirit, who would be called wife material. Many of them are in serious relationships and marriages, right? But once again, 26% of our women are married. So what about the 74% that aren't married, right? Many of them, men have come up with a term called a chameleon, in which that's a real animal or reptile.
Yeah. We all know the animal change their colors. They can blend into their backgrounds. Or I guess in a religious case, an angel in disguise. Yep.
Reptile. But a chameleon changes colors. So they're saying many of these women who are in the church are chameleons. They come off one way, real nice, good women to be with, so on and so forth. But once you get deep into that relationship with them or even marriage, they start to change. They start to want to lead. They start to be disobedient. They start to move a certain way.
Yeah. They put on that little mask just so they can get the ring on their finger. And then their true colors come out. Now, granted, it happens on men's side too. Sometimes men will marry a woman, then his true colors come out. So you got deceitfulness on both sides. Yeah. So I tell anybody, be careful who the fuck you gonna marry. Yeah.
Right. So many men are complaining about these so-called church women who you would think gonna be these great godly women, but they turn out to be women who will not follow a man's leadership.
Nope.
So I'm not saying that these are bad women in the church.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying that they just do not follow God's blueprint when it comes to a marriage.
Yeah, and if you don't want to follow God's blueprint when it comes to a marriage, just don't fucking get married. That's all it is. Don't get married. Do what you want. It's your life, but don't don't try to get yourself into a situation where you got to abide by standards and rules, knowing damn well you're not going to want to comply with that. Kind of like with the job analogy I use. Would you apply for a job you're not going to be able to do long term? No, you wouldn't. Why sign on for something long term that you know damn well you're not going to want to abide by the standards and the rules? So why get into a marriage with a man that you know you're not going to want to submit to? Why talking about you want to do right by God when you know doggone well that aspect of doing right by God it's not something you want to do? Why bother? But anyways, fair use.
Many of them want to run the show or move to the beat of their own drum.
Exactly. And this is why I say also, some women are better dealt with when they are single and just looking for fun. Because if you were to marry the woman that you've been dealing with for years and years, y'all been having sex and all this kind of stuff, doing sexual stuff with each other with no commitments, the second one of y'all start falling in love with the other, that's when shit gonna hit the fan. If you marry that woman, she gonna show you why you never wanted to marry her in the first place, because you knew it was gonna end in disaster. A part of you knew that. Same thing with the woman. Let this man put a ring on her finger. Now she gonna be reminded as to why she didn't want to be with this man in the first place. That's why I say marriage is just not for everybody. Some people are better dealt with when they're single. This woman here, better deal with her while y'all are still single and not seeing anybody seriously. Don't try to turn her into no wife, because she's not going to want to abide by the rules of being a wife. Same thing with a man that can't abide by the rules of being a husband. I mean, a man is going to provide and protect regardless, be on his purpose regardless. That's just what he does. He doesn't need the title of husband to assert the fact that he is a provider and a protector. Yeah. So he's going to be doing all that regardless. But women will say, I'm not going to be a good woman unless I become a wife first. Fuck all that. No, it don't work that way. But anyways, fair use.
Right. So ultimately, you could say that these women have also walked away from God because they're picking and choosing what scriptures they want to live by. Right. And to follow God. Right. You can't be lukewarm. He will spit you out.
Yeah.
So you need to be following him in totality.
In other words,
consistency. When it comes to following a man's leadership, you're a husband. Right. So with all of that being said, I came to the conclusion that both men and women have walked away from God. Not all, but I'm talking about a large percentage. Not all.
And I wonder, who do you think walked away from God first, the women or the men? I mean, I want to say the women, because they're the ones that start this whole sexual liberation stuff, which left them not compelled to abide by the rules of the Bible in the first place. And the men just followed suit. But that's just my opinion. I mean, women started this whole sexual liberation stuff. So yeah, it's possible that they walked out on God first and the men just followed suit, knowing that they can't do nothing about it. Anyways, fair use.
Because you got many out here that's doing very well, right? In their relationships and in marriages and in life in general. But we're talking about the vast majority. Right?
Yep.
The vast majority. All you need to be in the majority is 51%, right? Because that's more than half. All you need to be the vast majority is 51%. And that's what I'm speaking to. So, of course, there are other reasons why the numbers have decreased for Black relationships and Black marriages, right? Things like women adhering to government assistance programs that have caused a lot of women to say, hey, I don't need a man. I got all the assistance I need right here. I'm working. Plus, I got these checks coming in, so I'm good to go, right? And then other reasons why many women are choosing to stand alone is things like, women enrollment in colleges is up, and in school, the enrollment is up. So many women.
Yeah, I've heard that more women are in college than it is men. Ain't that some stuff? Yeah.
Women getting these degrees and getting these careers where they're able to make enough money where they can support themselves and the kids. So that's another reason why they're like, you know what, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a man. Or even the ones that are not necessarily saying they don't need a man, they're able to sit back, be extra patient, and, get very picky when it comes to choosing a man or settling down with a man, right? They want this Superman. They got a superficial idea of the man who they would settle down
superficial
for,
Superman,
or submit to, or get with his program, or whatever the case may be. This man is a perfect man. That's what they're looking for, this perfect man. But
yeah. So they're superficial, looking for their super perfect man. Wow. The price ain't right. The price ain't right. Fair use.
What allows them to be patient is the fact that they're making their own money. So it's like they're in no rush to get with anybody. They're not in any rush at all, right? They're going to take all their time until their time runs out, right? And it will run out as they age, and they're not able to get the man that they want. A lot of women out here with men, but these are not men who they really truly want to be with. They settle for this man, if you will. Now, many of these women, you have social media. That's another reason, right?
Yeah, we talked about social media, how it's ruined dating as we speak. Yeah.
It's this idea that they can get any man out here because.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of men that they don't know who they really are. That's their real name. All they know is they get a bunch of likes, comments, subscriptions, and attention from these men. So it's nothing too genuine about it to begin with, but that's what they wanted, fair use.
They have a lot of messages in their DMs and guys hitting on them all the time. But the thing is, are these men hitting on you for sex or are they hitting on you for marriage?
At this point, I really don't think they even care if it's for sex or marriage, as long as they're getting attention.
Many of you think they're hitting on you for marriage, but they're actually not. So there's a facade up and you think like, oh, well, I got plenty of time. I got all these options, I'm good. When you really don't.
Yeah, your fertility is going to run out and them options are going to run out. So yeah, there you go.
And that's also holding up that number and the amount of relationships or marriages in our community. Many of you are on social media getting all these likes and comments, right, and views. And you feel like, well, hey, I'm good. But the thing is, many of these women, they look good, but they don't have a man. So that's a red flag in itself. That is a red flag in itself.
Yeah, depending on her situation. If she's been in good relationships with good men, but just a mutual breakup, that's one thing. But if this chick can't maintain a relationship to save her goddamn life, that's a bit of a fucking problem right there. That is an issue.
But I don't have much more. As a matter of fact, that's all I've got for you today.
Don't worry, brother. You said a mouthful. You summed it all up. He said it himself. He believes men and women are responsible for the decline in marriages and relationships. And that's something I spoke on earlier. Yes, it's men and women, not just one. Both sides are guilty. All right, looks like nobody can talk to me, but yeah, that's okay. Appreciate the support you guys have been showing me. Anybody still back there? The link is right there. Anybody want to come and chop it up with your boy? Feel free to do so. I'm gonna show one last video before I close up. Again, I'll give people one last, but before I do, here's the information to my Cash App. And let me put this message out here once again.
Like, comment, and subscribe because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
All right, on to my next video. Okay, here we are. Fair use, fair use.
Women are afraid of commitment because they feel like they're going to lose their life, which is a false fear. Men are afraid of commitment because they fear they're going to lose their livelihood, which is a real fear.
Think about this, man. You work hard, bust your ass all through your 20s, and now you're finally starting to attract women. And now you're being told to settle down real quick with some chick that's 30 plus also, while she had her fun in her 20s, just screwing away all her value on yachts, private parties, and islands. No, of course that guy doesn't want to settle down and get married. Then there's the real fear of I could lose most of what I've worked for a better part of a decade. Some men their whole lives.
That's a true fact. We talked about earlier. Men have the most to lose when it comes to marriages not going right. I mean, losing your access to women in family courts, which always favor them, that's a huge deal. So I guess the fear differs depending on the man. So I guess the fear differs depending on whether it's a man or a woman. Women fear possibly losing their lives, which is dreadful in of itself. But men, we fear losing our livelihoods. You gotta pay child support. You gotta pay alimony and stupid stuff like that. Yeah, that could really take its toll on a man. But yeah, that's just how that goes. That's basically how that goes. Oh, look who we have here. Shout out to my homegirl, Brienne, my #1 fan, always cooking like a frying pan. How are you, my girl?
Doing well. You know, you should have confirmed it was me, right? Because people can take a profile picture and act like someone else. That happened on my channel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard about that. You know, Melly got P-bombed about a month ago. So, yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always ask, like, maybe only I can answer, or you have me, like, verify on camera in the back.
Okay. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I'll definitely keep that in mind. I mean, no one comes on my show acting a fool. Besides, I know most of y'all, so hey, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Now, what's your take on this whole thing? Today's topic: are men responsible for marriages declining? Yes, no, maybe. Are men responsible? Women responsible? Or do you think both genders are responsible? What's your take on the whole thing?
Both are responsible, but men are primarily the ones that ask for marriage, or ask a woman for marriage. So if we're starting somewhere, we do start with the men, because they're the ones that are asking. You ask them why, and then you hit the main problems, the same ones you detailed earlier. I'd been listening in the background. I was just making my husband some dinner, so I'm like, let me just pop on real quick.
Oh, okay. But you saw the guy in the last video. He said both men and women are responsible, and I agree with that 100%. It's women. I mean, yes, we men control access to marriage. Don't get me wrong. So that kind of puts it on us. But at the same time, when you look around, there are no eligible women for us to marry. How you gonna put all that burden on us? You as a woman got to come to a man already traditional, already marriage minded, in order for him to choose you. Because only a damn fool would give a reckless person access to something that's going to damage him in the long run.
Right.
I mean, seriously, when men get cheated on, they're the first ones to get blamed. You cheat on your husband, they're going to look at him like, what did you do wrong? I mean, he married you knowing you was something else. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying he married you knowing you was something else. So, hey, that's on him. So we already bear the burden of being responsible for marriages coming up.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Like, what did you do or what didn't you do to make her run in the arms of another man? I think that's ridiculous. And then there's
your avatar disappeared, by the way.
There's what?
Your avatar disappeared.
It always does that. Let me try and add one as I'm talking. But yeah, I think the most, let's see, remove from edit avatar. I'm just gonna have to get one from my photo library. It always wants to do that.
Yeah, but I change mine every now and then because I can see, but you probably can't see it on your end.
All right. Yeah, it happens pretty consistently. Okay. All right. Is that better?
Oh, much better. That's a recent picture of you?
Yeah, that's when I got my hair straightened before I did Melody's interview. So a couple months.
Well, it looks nice on you. And you no makeup, natural beauty.
Yep, no makeup. But yeah, I think the starting point is, as we've had in these discussions, but generally people don't have these discussions. They actually don't know why men aren't marrying. They have no idea. So you got to talk to someone as if they're 5 years old on these concepts. We talk.
Right. I've always said some things you're never too old for. I guess this is one of them, right?
Yeah, because people I've spoken to before, they have no idea. They, are less of men and they don't want to do.
Oh, you did it again.
So when I think about these concepts, I think, how would I explain this to somebody who, has never watched any of the creators I've watched, or who aren't married and don't actually know what a marriage truly is. So that's where you start, get into the mind of a person who, for one, wants to be married, and two, doesn't know why the marriage is declining so much. I think women, we talk to each other at surface level. I've very rarely spoken to women who have conversations where they're actually trying to get into the mind of a man. It's always from their perspective. So even talking to women sometimes is difficult because I'm like, well, you got to be in his shoes just for a little bit, just to understand the concept. And that becomes extremely difficult because they've never had that thought in their mind to think of it from the man's perspective. They always think, well, if he wants to marry me, he'd better put a ring on it. Then it's like, what does he get? You know, and then you actually tangibly have to tell me what he would get. Most women barely even say children. So if he wants children and he can't have children with you, what would be the next best thing? You know, partnership. Okay, well, he can have that as being your boyfriend. And I believe had a talk a while ago that I don't think this concept of boyfriend, girlfriend should be a thing either. If you want a serious relationship, if you do not want a serious relationship, I think that's when you should do the concept of boyfriend and girlfriend. Because my husband and I spoke about it. There was no benefit for either.
Remember.
Oh,
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, neither of us.
Yeah, I remember y'all talked about that. And my thing is, I've always thought boyfriend and girlfriend is the starting point for a marriage and relationship. I mean, who gets married off rip like that? Like, hey, you met your husband Taz, y'all got married within a couple of months. No, it didn't work that way. Y'all were boyfriend and girlfriend first, then became husband and wife.
That's true, but we both had that talk. There was no benefit to that for either of us. And when we finally had those conversations, of course, we were watching KS every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like during dinner time. So we started deeper conversation.
Shout out to that man.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't want our children to date. We want them to court. And then when they become serious with somebody, you know, hopefully we'll already know them, because I think you should marry somebody within your same neighborhood, someone that you know well and grew up with and know their family. Then we all have a dinner together, discuss, you know, the future, what everyone's plans are, and then you plan the marriage after that. The courting is you get to know each other, you make sure there is a chemistry and a connection, which is important. But all those things you talk about, I think being a boyfriend and girlfriend and having those types of relationships muddles everything, because some people will be in a relationship with somebody 4 or 5 years and they've never spoken about marriage. You need to get to the point if you want marriage or not, and then determine if you're going to take it more serious. Because a boyfriend and girlfriend, it's almost like that person is a placeholder. Because if that first boyfriend would have been your husband or wife, and that's never the case. Your first boyfriend or girlfriend is almost always never your husband or wife. They're a placeholder for someone else down the line, or something doesn't work out, or you realize your views don't mesh, and then boom, you're broken up. And yet all that time and energy and effort and connection is now gone. And I think that's pointless. Again, this isn't the way things always were. You always made sure that the family was involved and that that person had a good plan for their future before you even dated them. People are dating in high school. You don't even know what you want to do for the rest of your life. You don't even know how to wipe yourself good, and you're trying to commit to someone. I think that concept, just hindsight thinking in my 30s, is crazy. We really need to put an end to that to start before we even get into people who really do want a serious relationship. Sometimes people go to college and realize, well, I just want to work this career. I actually don't want kids at all. And for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but my family pushed college. I mean, it was almost like, if you don't go to college, you will be the laughing stock of this family. So yeah,
damn.
Default.
Oh man, that's by the way, Avatar disappeared again. But let me say this. Because I know people that were dating in high school and they got married maybe some months, or maybe not months, but years down the line. So not everybody that's in high school is too immature to understand what they want. I get where you're coming from. I'm not going to say every 16, 17, 18-year-old is too immature to understand who they want to be with while they're young. Best to figure that out while you're young, instead of waiting till you're damn near 30, 40 years old and be like, okay, I want to get married. I want to start a family. You know, don't wait too late.
Right. I agree. I honestly, if I could have married my husband at 18, I would have. Would have saved us both a lot of time and heartache, trust me. But we did not have those type of influences in our lives. It's like, live your life, be young, go to college. And, that didn't work
I
out for
was
us.
told. I mean, I was kind of told the same thing, just go to school. But it's different for us men. I guess me and your husband weren't fed the same kind of stuff to that degree, because we're men. We're supposed to explore. We're supposed to enjoy life, that kind of stuff. But y'all ladies are supposed to prioritize building a family foundation in addition to that. We're just told go to school and just do what we want do. I'm not gonna say do what we want to do, but have at it, but be responsible. That's what we were told growing up.
Correct. He only had one semester, I believe, in college, maybe a semester or 2.5 or something. And then he was out of college, directly back to working and doing trades. Luckily, because that worked out the best. But this idea that we're pushing on kids, college is the end all be all, it's a very old mindset, because back when our parents were born in the early 1960s. So the idea of college was only because that was their only way. There were no other ways really to almost guarantee you were going to have a good life. And they don't see that things have changed so much that college is not necessary for the vast majority of people. Of course, doctors, lawyers, all those things. But for most people, it's not needed. And again, my family, I don't even think they fully support me being a stay-at-home wife. They just like the idea that I have a side business and that I still have my college degree to fall back on if all else fails. So,
wow.
Yeah, like I love my life. I really obviously wish I had more family here. I wish I had more of a village. But other than that, I enjoy what I do every day. I take care of our child. We, always find something new to do with her. We even have these yearly passes for the Science Museum, which we can't wait to take her to one day. So
Science museum.
Yeah, they have a science museum here and little, baby corners and stuff that babies can play in. I'm excited for those little things. I don't know why my family wanted so bad for us to be walking around with like Gucci bags and living this lifestyle that no one's living. Everyone is just trying to look like they're keeping up with someone. And I love shopping at their stores, and I have my sewing machine, which I need to bust out this year, to be honest. But I think more of a simple life is a good thing for most people. Most people can't live that lifestyle of all the people we see on social media. And social media is a lie on top of that. So, yeah, I really hope that more women can understand that you don't need, because I think that's the other part of the issue. Women wanting to get married just to live a certain lifestyle, have a huge wedding they can't afford, and then wonder why there are issues in the marriage because they're trying to look good to everyone else. What I'm doing probably doesn't look good to really anybody in my family, but they still admire what we do. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it or want it for yourself. Because a lot of them want to work too, along with having kids, and put the kids in daycare. I don't want my kid in daycare, So I want to be able to be.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I made the suggestion to your husband sometime last year. Why don't y'all just put your kids in when they're old enough to walk? When little Bunny can walk and jump on her own, put her in a daycare, y'all could do workouts together. But you say you're not down for that, so it is what it is.
No, the goal was always to have like the workout stuff in our own home, so that when she's old enough, she can be doing workouts with me and keep me accountable. But I think the way we have things set up is the best for us, especially not having any additional help, with the bunny. But I think women who do want to get married, you got to understand, is the marriage more important or looking good to other people more important? And that's what I realized very early on, that I don't care really what I look like to other people. I just want my husband happy, and I want to be happy. But happiness, it came from us individually. And we had that talk before getting married. Like, are you happy with yourself? Of course, no one's perfect. There are things you probably want to work on, but are you happy? And if we're married, will you care more about what I say or what other people say? And we had a lot of talks very similar to that. And I think that's what made our marriage so strong, because we realized, and he helped me realize, don't listen to your family so much when it comes to the looks department about stuff. Because there's sometimes we're going to be walking around in some, hand-me-downs or something until we can afford to do the things we want to do. And we obviously are in a better place now than when we were first married. Because when we were married, we both came in with nothing. And I think that's important, because you start early with somebody and you start with nothing, you build up.
Yeah, that's the way it needs to be. But have you noticed nowadays, for as long as I can remember, a lot of women want a man to come to the table already built, the total package. Not a lot of work needs to be done. Already got to have it set up, and all she got to do is just have the carpet rolled out for her, and she can reap the benefits of being with him. You notice that a lot?
Yes, and that's the issue. I've seen that. When you want to start off with everything before you build up with the person, I don't believe you appreciate it as much because you didn't get to see your husband get to that point where he is successful in his career, and he's proud of himself for having you by his side and you being the helper that you should be. But and that's the other thing. If you want a successful man, that's fine, but there's not as many of them as you think they are. As you think they, you know what I'm trying to say? There's not as many of them just floating around. And on top of that, are you the type of woman that a very successful man will want? And most women don't have that honest conversation with themselves.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. I just want a man that.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna finish up. I was like, I just wanted a good man that, I would be confident in following his lead, and he had a plan. Like, he had to have a plan before he even showed my dad the ring. I was like, okay, whatever plan you have for us, you better darn sure make sure you have that together by the time you go and talk to my dad. And he did. And he's followed through with that plan almost to the T. Of course, there were roadblocks. Of course, job changes and COVID happened during our marriage, for goodness sakes. Like, we've had some bumps, but we've made it through those. And still, building. This year's going to be our 6-year anniversary. It goes by fast. And a lot of women don't realize that it goes by fast.
Yeah, it do. And that's the way it needs to be. Maybe you should find somebody younger. I mean, there was a time where I'm gonna say the pressure was on y'all ladies to find somebody while you were young and in your prime. Because you don't want to get 30, 40 years old, still young. You're not as young as you once were. You're still beautiful, but you're not as fertile. Mm-hmm. So now you can't even give birth to a family at 35, 40 something years old. You just can't do that. Mm-hmm. Seriously, how many 40-year-old women do you know are still giving birth to kids? That just ain't happening. Mm-hmm. So it will behoove you to find somebody while you're young. But they got it to where women can go to school, they can get educations, which is not the issue, but they sacrifice their youth, beauty, and fertility just so they can do these things and be adventurous like men are. Mm-hmm. That's where I have the problem. You spent your 20s having one night. I'm sorry to cut you off, but let me say this. You spend your 20s having all these hookups with this guy, hookups with that guy, talking about this man got a big PP or my AAS is fat and all that kind of stuff. Fast forward a decade later, post-college, you don't know what you want to do with yourself as far as relationships are concerned. Because at that point, ain't nobody checking for you. And don't get me wrong, you can still look beautiful past 35, 36, 37 or whatever, but dealing with you at 37 was not the same as it was when we were like 27 or 26 years old. It's just not the same. And I'm talking from experience because I've dealt with older women. I'm 26, she's like 31, 32. It doesn't quite feel the same like dealing with these people, the ones my own age. The sexual attraction may still be there, but it just, looking back, it didn't feel the same dealing with the ones my own age, That's all I'm saying. My mic gets muted. Rock out, my girl.
Mm-hmm. Your comment about starting young. Me and my husband were talking marriage and, our wedding, a very small wedding when I was 25. So all of my cousins, as soon as I was walking around with the ring talking about, I can't wait to marry this man. They're like, well, how long have you known him? You're kind of young, You sure you don't want to wait until you're like 30? How about the year 2020? Wouldn't that be a good year to get married? And then what happened in 2020? You know what I mean? If I would have waited 1 or 2, 1.5 they almost would have screwed up my wedding, me believing these older women that I was supposed to entrust in. And again, that was almost 6 years ago. None of them are married or in a relationship. The same women who are advising me that I was too young. So I'm thinking, like, not only would you guys have wasted almost 6 years of my life, Bunny wouldn't be here. And you guys really would have made me mad.
Yeah. Because now let me say this. As far as your family telling you that you're too young, I can kind of understand that because let's face it, most people that get young, they get married too young. The marriage don't last that, don't last that long. You get married between ages of 18 and 25. That's that's kind of young to be trying to get married. I mean, come on. You're fresh out of high school. So you're probably either fresh out of high school or you're down there out of college. You haven't really planned your life out to the fullest. What you know about maintaining a marriage? Maybe they've been through that, so maybe they were just looking out for you in that regard. Because I hear stories about that happen. I got married too young. This, I got married too young. That, yeah. But the real question is, are you even marriage minded to begin with? Because back then people were just jumping into marriage because they feel like it was the right thing to do. It's the adult thing to do. You're not officially a grown man or woman until you get married. So they just rush right into it. At least you and your husband Tez didn't do that.
Right, but we have known each other a long time, so that's why I don't recommend just dating someone that your family doesn't know, that you don't know, that you truly haven't even spent enough time with them to ask those important questions about the future, how many kids, and if you already come into the relationship with kids, what type of step parent are you going to be? Like those type of conversations have to happen because, if they don't, you're just going into something with assumptions, which is very dangerous. But the reason why I think they were really telling me is because they didn't want to see their younger family member get married before they did. That's my actual assumption. Oh, not assumption. Realization after actually speaking to my husband and his family. They said, well, are any of them married? Are any of them this or that? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, they don't want to see you get married before they do. Oops, did I lose you?
Is my avatar still there?
No, your avatar went away. I thought I lost you for a second, but no, your avatar.
Well, I can fix that. Continue.
Okay, but I will say I don't always put something bad against people. Maybe they were truly worried, but having your younger cousin get married before you, maybe it is a thing. Like, oh man, now it's really making me realize that I maybe don't have as much time. But as much as I think my family has tried their best to help, they don't know everything the same way I don't know everything. But I did know that based on what my husband told me before we got married, that we were just going to be a great fit. And no matter what we went through, I was still going to trust and respect his leadership and his plan for our family. And most women don't have that. They don't have an innate trust in a man to make a lot of big decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you saw that video I was showing you earlier about the man that was talking about. He kind of put some religious aspects into it. Mm-hmm. He was saying how a lot of women have walked away from church, walked away from God, and I guess the men follow suit. They pick and choose what they want to follow as far as doing right by the Lord is concerned. When it comes to, being a good woman, they'll do that. But when it comes to submitting to a man, submitting to a husband, all that goes out the window. They're picking and choosing what rules they want to follow. That's like, that'll be like you and me. That'll be like you and me going to work and pick and choosing what rules we're going to follow, which ones we're going to break. We're going to lose our freaking jobs at that point, right?
That is true. You want to hold on to that money. You don't want to lose it. Just picking and choosing. But picking and choosing as a woman, it just seems like it's so easy nowadays because you see other women do it and get away with it. Back in the day, if you saw a woman, acting crazy and not following her husband, there were immediate ramifications for that. And even though I'm lucky, not even lucky, I was strategic in finding a man that I could respect, but also could kind of put his foot down when needed. Especially when I'm wrong. And I usually agree with him, but sometimes I'm just flat out wrong. And he can say it with love, but dominance. It's a very, very hard mixture, but he just does it so well. And I think most men could learn from him that if a woman doesn't respect you, leave. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going to gain respect for you if she already doesn't have it. And he learned that very young.
Thank you.
Yeah, he learned that very young. Thank you. So he learned that before he's like 21, and then we started dating when he was like, 23, 24. So I remember him saying, like, if I would have known now what I knew back then, there are certain women that never even want to look their way. Because first it turns into like jokes and little comments about, height or size of whatever. And then it turns into, for example, a big decision for the family. Now she's mocking you on social media. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go from one extreme end being, disrespectful to suddenly being the most respectful, wife or partner. It starts with, okay, I respect you, but I'm a little iffy on this leadership, but then it grows deeper as you see him consistently doing amazing things for your family. So I did grow up with my dad, and he kind of ruled with the iron fist, not gonna lie, but I wanted somebody who had that dominance in that respect, but also, would listen to my input and, want to make the best decision overall, not just using his personal input. And again, my dad definitely raised in a different time. So him ruling with the iron fist was probably the best growing up, because things were a little different back in the day.
Yeah.
Very, very important, because there's no social media. Now there's social media. Now there's the internet and AI. So, but a lot of things are still true. Like, the respect of your husband is still going to take you very far as a wife. And as soon as you lose that, the family crumbles.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because if a woman doesn't respect a man at first, it's just not going to, she ain't going to flip a switch and start being respectful to him. Because I hate when I hear people say, well, if you want women to do better, men got to do better. How about both sides do better? I can be the best version of myself all I want to, but you're not going to follow my damn lead. What good is that going to do me trying to prove something to you that can be that can be a good man for you? You have to make that conscious decision for yourself. If you want to follow my lead. Now, I get it. Some men are just not fit to lead. Don't get me wrong. But to say leadership to you is oppression, leadership as a whole, any masculinity as a whole is oppression, that's where I have the problem. Because not everybody's out here being oppressive. So yeah, you got to respect the man if he's a good man. As long as he ain't disrespecting you, there shouldn't be any issue. But you should have the desire to submit to the good man if you want him to be the leader of the relationship. Otherwise, just stick to being an independent boss chick doing everything by her damn self. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and women don't want to do things by themselves, especially the hard things, the things we weren't even designed to do. We weren't designed to raise children on our own and handle the discipline for the most part. And again, I always say something about the women who didn't choose this life. They got married and did everything the right way, and then something went wrong. I'm talking to the women who are consciously making these bad decisions because, one, they didn't have the guidance, or they didn't know right from wrong at the time. The only change you can make at this moment is with yourself, and realizing men want certain things, and a lot of those things have not changed for decades. They want the same things in women that they've always wanted. It's just with the technology, they actually, quote unquote, need women less and less by the day. So when you find a good man, the best you can do is, be the best version of yourself in order to get the best version of the man that you potentially want. And I think there's a lot of beautiful women that are single because they've been led astray. And being a single person, like I said, it's nowadays you can still get those interactions, as you said earlier, but it comes to a point where you're sitting alone, looking at the wall, wishing for something different, wishing for something solid and, secure. Today is Valentine's Day, actually, so I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. I have a whole video of me literally crying over, I believe, a crush that didn't like me and ended up spending Valentine's Day with someone else, and ended up spending Valentine's Day with my grandma, and I went over to her house and hung out with her. So yeah, there's a video of me crying online about 16 years ago, talking about I'm by myself on Valentine's Day, which is crazy.
Well, you're not alone this year, right?
No, and I think I'm even more grateful for like holidays like this, because it just solidifies the decision I made and the trust I had, not only in just my decisions, but also the decision my dad made to accept, his son-in-law to be in my life. And again, he was not perfect, and we were both starting off broke. And I feel like my dad acknowledged that and was like, you know what, these kids can just get together and figure it out, and we surely did.
Yeah.
And I just
By the
talked to
way,
him today.
did you just say you crying over something that happened to you damn near 15, 16 years ago? Come on now.
I told myself I would never delete this video, no matter how cringy it is, because I think it's important. Because I tell people, go look there's a video of me on my own channel crying that I'm alone on Valentine's Day. And the backstory was, there's a guy I liked. he couldn't give two craps about me, you know. And every single time he called, hey, what you doing? It was always like a hey, what's up? It was never like I'm gonna take you there. So here I am, you know, in college talking about I'm lonely and, you know, I want a good relationship, and then, you know, just wasting my time, you know.
Bree, give me a
My
second,
birthday holiday.
please.
That's Cat.
Oh shoot! I couldn't even hear what the caption said. I have my phone volume down.
I'm sorry. I'm calling Cap. You stressing over something that happened 15 years ago. Come on, you should be over that by now.
Wait, no, I'm not stressing over it. No, I say I refer to it to tell women don't do that.
Oh, okay. You had me going
Okay,
for a
we're going to
second.
reiterate. No, I'm saying the thing that stresses me out is that women are going through that for no reason. If that man doesn't care about you, move on, is what I'm saying. And I said I kept that video up there to use as reference.
Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, Bree, I got a few videos I want you to take a look at before I close down. Take a look at this one. This one's by Candace Owens.
A
Fair
shocking
use.
new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men.
Ask this question all the time.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro. C-A-P.
What you thought about that?
The animation was adorable. Economically, I think I used to play that clip earlier, and I was like, they always say this, like, you want a millionaire, you know what I mean? And you work at, you know, fast food. Like, if you average people could get together with other average people, a lot of these conversations would, you know, go by the wayside.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They want men to rise above women. Like, if you work at a fast food restaurant, then I guess I got to have a job that pays more than you. I got to be a billionaire. I got to be better than you. I ain't got a problem with a man being better than a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have the issue is that these women don't even hold a candle to the same kind of men that they're demanding that they should be with.
Oh yeah.
You want a man that lives in a mansion, an expensive Fresh Prince of Bel-Air style mansion, but yeah, you're happy as live in the freaking projects where there's a lot of prostitutes, pimps, and drug addicts. Seriously. That's what I compare that to. You want the man that's better than you, but your life barely holds up to what he can bring to the table. That's what I have the problem. It's delusion at its finest.
I really want to raise our children to not have that mindset. I want you to be somebody that, I mean, hopefully, like I said, we know the family, we've been around. There's a lot of, you know, parenting programs around here where you can meet up with your kids and go for walks and go eat and stuff. So I'm just hoping that we're going to be around people that we pretty much have known their family since they were babies, so that when it's time to marry, you know, hey, look, you're interested in that guy over there. We already know their family. We already know what they're about. You know, their parents are, you know, on the same playing field. The mom is respectful of the dad. Like, that's one thing I'm really going to look for. Like, if you're interested in somebody, I really need to know how that mom treats that man out in public. And we need to go to their house. How do you treat them not in public? You know, do you belittle him? Do you talk to him a certain way? Because that's going to be intrinsic in the children. And on top of all of this, the economic thing, you're supposed to build with somebody. That's why you're supposed to start young to begin with. And being young doesn't always mean being naive. Because for me, I was naive. My parents sheltered me so much because they didn't want me to end up like one of those, you know, women you were describing. But the problem is, you can shelter your kid, but then you got to talk to him too. And then again, my parents worked a lot, so it's not like they had time to sit and talk to me for hours upon hours. But the only thing I do wish is, on top of protecting me, you had to mentally protect me too by giving me knowledge. Knowledge is like a shield over your child when you tell them about the world and don't hide it from them. Because then I went to college, and again, it was like a chicken with my head cut off. I don't know why these people are here acting crazy. I don't know any of this stuff, but no one told me anything. So you find out the hard way in life that way. But as far as this talk, the economic thing, it is ridiculous because men make more in general. So it's like, if he's not economically good, what are you? Like, if you're making less than him on average, why does he have to make 3 times more than you? You guys make about the same, or you make a little less than him.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Now this time, I'm sorry to cut you off. Let's watch the whole video this time without me cutting it off.
A shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men.
Ask this question all the time. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right? Maybe in the instant when men are not thinking with their big heads and they're saying, oh, whoa, she's half naked, great, I'm going to go for it. That might be what a man wants. But long term, that's not what a man wants. A man doesn't want a girl that's just going to be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see. That I don't have to be a man to know that that's not what men want. So then you say men suck. I'm looking at you going, I'm not a dude. I wouldn't date you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, self-perpetuating problem. Not enough women calling out the fact that women are not desirable right now, in my opinion, right? They're sexually desirable, but I wouldn't want to take you home to mom desirable.
I feel like that's exactly what I just said. I never even saw that whole clip, which is hilarious. 100%, she's right. That type of attention isn't, hey, I'm going to marry you. If you don't want to, be the type of woman that, he can take home to mom, or shoot, even grandma, no, thank you, and I want my kids to know that, like, yeah, that person may be cute, attractive, have all the muscles or all of the parts you like, but you're not going to deal with that every day, because that cute will turn into a real uncute headache real quick. And again, I don't think we should be using the metric of they're attractive, therefore they're going to be a good person. And again, that goes for men and women. Just because that person looks good now, that headache isn't worth it, because when you have a headache, your eyes are closed, and all you hear is, or whatever that person's saying. It ain't worth it. Yeah, absolutely spot on. But I've heard you speak enough to know, your thoughts on a lot of this stuff. But then in these conversations, now we're talking about the kids that are being raised up. Oh my God, what a headache. And the small thing, I already know you saw the ballet teacher having the headache with the kids. Well, at least my daughter isn't. And she went to class today. You know what I mean? The standard for just being a human being has vastly lowered. Like, now the standard is, well, at least they showed up. Well, at least they didn't, unalive somebody. At least. If I hear at least one more time in one of these, I swear my brain is going to boom. Like, the standard for being a good person, we need to go back to the metrics that worked. The standard of being a good person is hard work, treating people well, holding some type of belief. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be religion, just some type of moral code that you follow and that also you want your family to follow. The standard for that is low. So imagine all these low standard, people getting together and then creating more children. It creates entitlement, which we're seeing a lot of, disrespect, and then broken families. So we got to start somewhere. And again, no one's perfect. And I've always said, a lot of men will end up. Oh God, you shouldn't tell it to someone. You know what?
You see this?
He looks sleepy. He actually looks happy. He got food. He got his dog. He got a light on. That's how they want us to see men. Like, oh, you're just going to be lonely and old with a dog. He's just tired. He eating his food before he go to bed. He is happy. That's what people don't see in that picture.
But look at the caption. It says, how a lot of men will end up if they don't change their mentality soon. Once again.
Look at this picture.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The problem with this is you want us to see a sad, lonely man with a dog. He's just tired. He's about to eat, go to sleep, and live his life.
Correct.
He don't got no headaches. He don't have no issues. Like, this is the picture. If you put a woman in it now, we're seeing, actual sadness. This guy is just watching his TV show. That's just his resting face. He's not angry. He's not upset. But men ending up like that, what's the alternative? A picture of this man literally holding his head, getting screamed at by a woman, is what the internet will say, you know?
Yeah. And my thing is there's no context to this picture.
Mm-hmm.
They say we're gonna be, if we don't change our mindset, we're gonna be old, we're gonna be sad, old, bitter old men who are gonna be by ourselves for the rest of our lives.
Look at
well, first of all, like you said, the man looks happy in this picture. Got his food, got a dog, I guess he's watching TV. And second of all, we don't know this man's situation. Maybe he had a wife, but she passed away of some unfortunate reason. And now he's widowed. So we don't know that.
H&M, wait. There is a picture of KS in the background. Look.
Damn, I didn't even notice that. I swear.
See, that's what you see what this person's trying to do. That was a very slow thing that you got to pay attention to. No, I don't believe that a man without a woman is necessarily miserable. He just has less responsibility. Now, we'll say responsibility in men, it does give them purpose. My husband says all the time, me and Bunny give him purpose, which is amazing. But he needs time to relax and sleep and do other stuff too, which I think is important. But this photo is shaming. It's the sign language he was always talking about. And again, I think there are a lot of women, even the ones that have children, they absolutely 100% can find a man and find happiness, but it's just going to be a harder road. And again, I hate how people say just because you have a child, you're going to end up lonely or no one's going to want to be a stepdad. He always said also, you have to find a way to make this deal make sense to the type of man that you want or the type of man you can get. And to make that deal make sense, well, you might need to talk to your child's father. Hey, maybe we need a split custody schedule. Or, hey, he's a young boy. He probably needs to spend the majority of the time with you. And a lot of women, at least in my recollection, they don't actually want to do that. They don't want to give the child to the father full time for multiple reasons. I know we've detailed those before, but I think a young boy does need a lot of time with his father, grandfather, and his uncles, because there's just certain things we can't do as women. And most women agree with me on that, but a lot of women are going to shame me for that. But I do think young boys need a lot of time with their fathers. But of course, I think girls need time with their dads too. And if you take that away, you will only see the negative effects later on, especially when that man is upstanding and wonderful. There are women who are actually doing the visitation with their kids at the jail just to make sure they have their dads in their lives. You're telling me a free walking man out here, just because y'all broke up, can't see his child, that's actual trash behavior, because we're seeing the effects of it. Again, he don't have to be perfect. That is still their father. That is still the DNA mix that you chose for that child to have. So, yeah, you better figure it out. If you want a good man, having your child around 24/7, for the ones who have that option, that's all you got. Well, where's his uncle? Where's your older brother? Where's his mentor? He might want to spend some time with them to develop into the type of man that you want him to grow up to be. And again, there are just certain things we can't do as moms. I know there's a lot of things I can't do for Bunny as her mother. I can't teach her certain things the way my husband can teach her.
Yep, that's that masculine energy. She needs to be surrounded by some masculine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. My twin brother's here too. What if she wants to know about music? Maybe she needs to learn that from him. She wants to learn about life and dating and what type of men to avoid. Yeah, you definitely need to speak to my husband about that. If you want to know how to get your hair and nails done and do it yourself and save money, yeah, talk to me. We can go and coupon. We can go and shop together. But as far as certain life lessons, it has to come from men. And I've told my nephew this, who just turned 18, or was about to turn 19. I preach to the choir to him about all this information, especially the ones we talk about not having kids and protecting yourself. And I told him at one point, you know what, you're asking me for advice, nephew. You need to talk to my husband, or you need to talk to my twin brother, because you're not listening to me. He's like, I am listening. No, you're not. I can't do it for you. Only a man can do this. And I acknowledge that. And we're setting that up, because he calls me for a lot of stuff. But I feel like he does that because he was mostly raised with his mom. And he's just used to hearing a feminine voice or energy, but I can't do it for you, nephew, And I realized that the last time I talked to him this week. Like, nope, I'm done wasting my breath. You're hearing me, but you're not.
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do, Auntie Bree. Auntie Bree gonna do so much.
Definitely do so much. And again, I can tell him I love him and I'm wishing him the best. But yeah, he's gonna have to give him a call at some point in the week. But yeah, I gotta finish making this dinner for my hubby. Are there any last questions, comments, or concerns?
Well, by the way, I had no idea that was Kevin Samuels' picture in the background of that picture when I found it on Facebook. I had no idea.
See, isn't it helpful having an extra pair of eyes?
Yeah. Well, you're younger. My eyes are so old, they barely work.
You know what? Oh my goodness. But yeah,
I'll be 40 this year, so give me a break, little lady.
Woo! 40, bro. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I answered all of your questions. Because a lot of people watch playbacks of these more than they actually do the lives. Because I think people are either getting ready for bed or getting the kids for bed, depending on what time zone you're in. But yeah. But it's nice to pop in once in a while.
You're going in and out, Bree. I couldn't hear you.
Oh darn! I think I'm starting to get low. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, I said it's nice to pop in every once in a while and say hi.
Yeah. And by the way, one question: when are you gonna get back into doing your own panels? I missed that.
Oh man. I try not to put a time limit on things because this baby dictates my schedule. But I think weekend panels, at least for an hour or two, will make more sense here in the spring. So I'll try and give it a shot, even if it's just for a little bit, just to pop in and say hi. But I have content like to upload to my channel, but I haven't uploaded yet.
You be putting stuff on Instagram, so I know you're still active with this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Instagram is always like easier as far as uploads, but yeah, Instagram and YouTube I definitely want to spend more time on this year.
Okay, well that makes sense. And now I think about it, it's been over 1 year since you and I started chopping it up. 1 year ago around this time, you and I started doing streams together. Well, on your streams.
Yeah, Bunny is a little over a year. I was pregnant, very, very pregnant when I started the panel. I was almost 8 months when I got on DD's for the first time.
Yep, I remember. I still have that stream saved in my like list. I like all the streams I tuned into, so I still remember that. That was back in, I think, December or something, November or whatever. It's been over a year. You were still pregnant.
Yeah, sure was. That's crazy.
I'm like, yeah, we found another one.
Now I'd love to jump on one of these days, but I try to do towards the end because the guys literally are fighting on the darn panels. I'm like, I am not going to be able to sit here for 2-3 hours just to say 2 sentences, So
fighting on a panel. What you mean?
Heated discussions, passionate discussions. Say that, but I mean, it's to the point to where it's hard for me to get a full sentence in. So I find that really hard because I'm taking 3 hours away from my family on the time where my husband's off just to say 2-3 sentences. And I could have just watched live with them in the other room because I go to a whole room to do a panel, especially when I'm on camera. So I just think depending on the panel, it's a lot easier just to, listen in and comment from the comments. So I'm spending time with my family that I can't get back.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, you're a married woman, so it ain't no pressure. I mean, some of us don't have kids to take care of, so hey, we got that kind of time on our hands, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, definitely. But yes, anyone watching, please support the Cash App because doing panels is hard. It is hard to come up here, come up with the topic, or your sound bites and stuff. It's difficult, but I think if you keep it up, you'll really see the fruits come from it.
Yeah, I am. I mean, Swag and Melanie, aka Kill 'Em Sweetly, inspired me to take this stuff into full high gear. So I'm not going to stop right here.
Oh, of course. Also, you should join their panel consistently. I think it's good because they already have the platform started.
But Melanie went through a little fender bender because somebody, I won't say the name, but somebody got heated on a panel she had about over a month ago. So she got demonetized or whatever. So she got to start from the ground up. So she's not doing open panels for a good while. So
no, I didn't know that. I've been out of the loop, obviously. But that's
I thought you subscribed to Melanie, right?
Yeah, I subscribed to her, but I promise you I haven't been on my phone as much. Baby turned a year, doctor's appointments and all types of stuff. So I had no
Yeah,
idea.
well, I get it. Okay, I ain't holding that against you because family comes first. I get it, but that's what happened.
Yeah, not to use it as an excuse, but goodness, I'm gonna have to send her maybe an Instagram message with some support. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got demonetized. Now she got now she has another channel. It's called Melanie Amber. Look that up when you get a chance. Subscribe to that channel.
Okay. Dang, she lost the whole channel.
I mean, the channel is still up there, but she just not using it as frequently. She's not gonna be streaming on that channel like she once was. I mean, they're not even doing open panels like they once were. She had a stream last night, but it was not an open panel.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, so you just, for one, got to be careful who you invite up, and two, you have to verify. Well, it was a person that was allowed on the panel, but they said a bunch of bad stuff, huh?
And she got P-bombed. I'm like, damn, well, that happened to you a couple of times too, did it not?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that was a close call too, because I almost lost my channel doing that stuff, like just trusting people. Oh, okay, you said you're a real person, I'll let you up. No, you have to do the hand signal. You have to do the thing on camera in the back before I let you up, because these are cowards. They're not going to show you their actual face and stuff. And I'm like, no, you have to show your face in the back. Just wild. People are because they know what they're doing. They're very vindictive and crazy. Like some of these people out here dating. Anyways, I was trying to bring it back real quick.
You're doing what?
I said, like, some of these people out here dating, vindictive and nasty. But I wish her the best. I'm going to have to find her new channel. But yeah. All the time. It's always a pleasure coming up.
But before you go, let me put this message out here for you and everybody.
Like, comment, and subscribe, because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
Your animations are the funniest.
Yep. You can thank Killing Sweetly for the inspiration for this. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this at least once every week. The days may vary because of my work schedule. Like right now, I got Tuesday, Wednesdays off. Next month will be Wednesday, Thursday. So catch a show at least every Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be doing graveyard shifts. I have more time on my hands during the day. So hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm subscribed. I'll be poking in every once in a while, so I'll try to keep up on the topics. But other than that, you take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Bree Bree.
Bye.
All right. Yep, subscribe to the lovely Brianne LaFay. I'm not sure I can put her channel in the comments. So, yep. Hit the like button for your boy H&M and subscribe to the lovely Brianne LaFay. The girl does amazing work, amazing wife, and amazing person. Oh, yes. Well, I got a few more minutes to spare. So anybody want to come up here and chop it up with me? Feel free to hit that link right here. Wait. Feel free to hit this link. Anybody want to come up here, talk about this? Before I give my final thoughts and shut the stream down, because we're at the 3-hour and 30-minute marker. But I'll give anyone that's back there a chance to come up here and speak their piece before I shut it down. Today's topic: are men responsible for marriages declining? Or do you think men and women are responsible? I gave my 2 cents on it. And yeah, this is crazy. I had no idea. Hold on a minute. Maybe y'all saw it before I did, but if you look hard enough, you will see a picture of Kevin Samuels in the background of this man's house. Ain't that some shit? I had no idea. I had no idea that was back there. But again, this is just crazy. Oh, welcome back, Cynical. Why you keep popping up? You on some whack-a-mole shit like I be? Okay. Well, Cynical once said the way... Cynical one said, "Oh, there you are. Okay. I think the way you're raised can reflect your future marriage or your friends and peers." Yep, that plays into it when you think about it, Cynical. That does kind of play into it. And in different cases, social media. That's kind of what Mella was talking about, how the media affects our marriages. Back in the day, it was have kids, start a family. What's been going on for the last 3, 4, 5 decades? Now it's just travel the world, be the best version of yourself. I don't know. Go bungee jumping, go mountain climbing, take up an art, take up a self-defense, or anything that's not preoccupied with starting a family. That's what media is perpetuating, and social media is no different, or personal experiences. Yep, that's how that goes, Cynical. And you already answered the question. You say both men and women are responsible for marriages falling apart. Yep, makes sense to me when you think about it. Anybody want to come up and give their 2 cents? They're welcome to it. I'm about to shut the stream down in about probably the next 5 minutes or so, because we're at the 3-hour and 33-minute marker. So anybody got anything to say on this? Are men responsible for marriages declining? You think it's both of them? Because I said both. Because, yeah, there are some men who want to get married and start families, but we ain't got nobody really to choose from. And this little bullshit right here is just not going to help any. This is what you're going to be like if you don't get your mind right. No. How about men and women get their minds right? That way everybody can be happy. And again, this man probably had a wife, but she passed away. We don't know his situation. So, yeah, it ain't our place to judge. He looks happy. Now, a woman in that situation, she might not look as happy. No shade to the ladies, no shade to the beautiful babes, but this needs to be said. Hey, women need attention more so than men do. That's why they be on social media thirst trapping, trying to get likes, comments, and subscription, because that's what they do. As men, we don't need social media like that. We like it, we use it for whatever, but we don't need the attention like that. As long as I got people to talk to every now and then, it won't bother me much. The most I'll do is use it for YouTube or use it to play music, that kind of thing. But that's what I do with this stuff. But anyway, since nobody else is coming up, I guess I'll give my final thoughts. And my final thoughts on this whole thing, at the ending of the day, men and women are responsible for marriages declining. I mean, sure, men control access to marriages and relationships, yes. But a common sense man is not going to give a reckless woman access to something that's going to damage him in the long run. So we need to bring about more marriage-minded and eligible women for these men to marry. Instead of pushing for all this independent boss chick, you don't need a man bullshit. Fuck the world when it comes to marriage. Y'all skipping out on church and picking and choosing what biblical scriptures you're going to follow. No. How about we get some marriage-minded women that are going to follow the word and abide by the book? In this case, submitting to your husband. The husband is first, the wife is last, that's second, the children are last. That's the order. But I guess our modern society doesn't want that. They want women to be heads of the household. They want women to be single mothers, and they want women to live their best lives and go through a so-called hope phase or 304 phase. That way they can discover what the fuck they want. Unfortunately, by that time, it's too late for them. You can't get dicked down by 5 or 6 men and then think you're eligible for marriages and relationships. It just don't work that way. Wouldn't you agree, Cynical? It just don't work that way. But this is what they're feeding modern women. And even the females that don't subscribe to this nonsense, they're not giving any more grace. They will tell you straight to your face, this is what's going on out here. Even my homegirl Brienne just told you, or one of my older streams, how she used to get talked about because she wanted to get married. She wanted to start a family. Oh, you're too young. You need to live life first. Man, she ain't got time to hear that shit. She gonna do things the right way. That's the way that goes. Bree was doing things the right way, but they couldn't handle it. It's one thing to protect people from making the same mistake you made by getting married too young. But seriously, if you see that your daughter or son is just planning everything out, something you probably didn't do when you were younger, give them some grace. Because it's best that you find somebody young. That way you don't be 40-something years old still looking for somebody. because not everybody can say that. But anyways, if nobody wants to come up, that's my final thoughts. Both of us need to get better. We want to build a family together. Both men and women need to get better. Both of us. That's the bottom line. All right. Before I get off of here, let me give my shout out. First shout out goes to Centacle, unpredictable, always at your pentacle. Special shout out goes to Sir James, got all the fame, ain't no shame in your game. Shout out to your wife, Lady Dash, she's so fly, taking the YouTube streets sky high. And shout out to my newfound homegirl, Mella, got a lot to tell ya, and I want to be your one and only fella. Last but not least, shout out to my homegirl Brienne, my #1 fan, always cooking like a frying pan. That's how we do it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show. This is your boy Hustler and Muscular, and you know what I do, giving you the truth straight out the booth, hitting home runs like Babe Ruth, cause that's what I do. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace. Deuces.
There will be no sorry. It's when you go harder than somebody, man. This right here, is dominations. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. With anything that I do, I dominate. I'm stronger, go harder. I'm a monster, I conquer, dominate anything I want to. My passion, my skill, my focus, my hunger. Just to put it simple, I'm the yes, I just want it more than the next guy. And no, you can't do the thing that I'm on. I'm real aggressive, little rough around the edges. A man on a mission, smashing the competition. Ooh, my next victim, get him, my Donald. Let me know if anybody else got a problem. Cause they don't even stand a chance. Got the eye of the tiger and I'm part of a champ. Just want it more, yeah, man, I need to win. Pedal to the floor, we gon' push it to the limit. Yeah, man, they wishing, but they come up with me though. No, even when it gets so quiet, I'm still on beast mode. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So I see the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So then rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Bless you with the ball, you will quickly be destroyed. So just stay out my way, get something you should avoid. I think it's time to show the world what I got. Yeah, I think it's time I turned it up a notch. Man, I figured it out. Why they mad at that? Cause I'm in my zone. Oh yeah, I got my swag out. I put up written on anyone who tests me. Close my eyes, take a deep breath. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm the boss, I'm the leader, I'm the man in control. See, I make my own rules, baby, I don't lose. Trust me, ride with me and get up now. Bring it down low, let me talk to you quietly. If I want to, I'ma get you. There's no way for you to hide from it. Towering, overpowering, anybody. To put it simple, homie, there's no way that you can stop me. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. To rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate. How I operate, I dominate. Knock them down like dominoes. Let's conversate, concentrate. I'ma tell you all I know. Go hard every day, that's the way you gotta go. But when they ask me if I'm gonna stop, I say hell no. Never stop, never quit, I'm only getting better. Hey, I was good before, but I'm better than I ever been. Yeah, let's see, you dealing with a war. I hear the fire in me burning like the sun down the floor. Tell me if you want it, I'ma show you what's in store. Yeah, and let me know if you want more, cause I got more for you. Still so rugged and raw, I live for this. I'm screaming out, give me some more. Yeah, time we go all out until it's finished. I don't know why again, we all know I'm gonna win it. Ain't no time to act timid, I'm the best that ever did it. Yeah, I think they know what this is. This here, what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, I do something amazing. What did anything that I do, I dominate it. This here, what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, I do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Yes. This here, what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. This here, what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So rise to the occasion, do something amazing. Cause anything that I do, I dominate it. Did it, work hard.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been brassing and laughing so long with that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never cost a man that didn't deserve it. He be treated like a bro, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying and joking. I really hate the joke, but I gotta love. As they cope, I see myself in the pistol smoke pools. I'm the kind of G that let the homies wanna be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the sheet line.
Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Took out the situation and they got me facing. I can't ever know it. I was raised by the shit, so I gotta be there with the little team. Too much Stella bitch and watch it got me chasing jeans. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my tin in my hand and the cream in my eye. I've a loped out cakes to set, chip and bacon. And my homies is down, so don't arouse my acres. Fool, that ain't like nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm there but like through Italian. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I let the C24 the way they deserve when I don't know?
Tell me why are we so blind to see that the one we hurt are you and me? Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Power at them Bunny in the power. Been it after me, power after hour. Everybody's ready, whatever I may look at it's going on in the kitchen. But I don't know what's shaking. They say I got the learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they teach me? I guess they can't, I guess they won't, I guess they fuck. That's why I don't want life designers up for.
Been